Hello again, and welcome back to the Dev Plays, Crucible of Avarice, Animite Tales, Tabletop RPG. This has been kind of an interesting sort of like week waiting for this episode, considering last episode, Felix went off to go and find Aldous. Fletcher and Anarche, alongside Pinky, went off to one of the temples, thanks to the map that was given to him by the people of Glandrine. So he went off to Glandrine yet again to go to this particular location, thanks to the World Seeker. Once getting there, they were able to go into a very large underground facility that they later found out was overrun by a special anti-invasion sentry force completely comprised of strange physic puzzle-based creatures. Anarche was able to stop it, however scarred himself in the process, and Fletcher found something very interesting and was the reason for this alarm. The alarm was set off because that he touched an orb, which was later to be found out the core of this entire facility, and was also to be found out that it has the ability to bend and alter certain factors of the laws of physics, as was determined pretty quickly after it turned Fletcher's right hand inside out. Fletcher was beaten down into the ground by the sentries, however later on he would be healed before he died, thanks to Anarche. The hand still damaged, and eventually gaining 2 orbs and a new animite tail, the gang then left these places to eventually head back to Jotun Jail Island. Now, with the party back at Jotun Jail Island, there comes the question of what is going to happen to the core, and what is going to happen with the animite tail. Also, Pinky said that she would be able to give something, or some things, to the new joined recruit, Stan, who seems to have strange affinities with being able to turn parts of his bodies into both animate and inanimate objects. As we now come back to it, you, Stan, are currently holding the pillar, this small stick of rock, with a glowing, almost nearly crimsonish pink orb that seems to spark small amounts of lightning, but no matter how you hold it, it always floats perfectly 4 inches away from the tip of this little pillar that you're holding. But Pinky said that she could give you something in return for helping them use the core for something that Anarche wanted. So now that you are now back on Jotun Jail Island, I wanted to point out it has been almost an entire day since the entire crew started. Anarche and they have actually done some pretty good stuff. Again, there's a structure manipulator and there's also a terrakinetic working there, so this is going to go incredibly quickly, even though that there is a lot for them to do.
Well, I mean, I did pay good money, so I'd hope so.
That is true. So, now that the lot of you are there, what did the 4 of you discuss?
What's the weather like?
Yeah, how's the weather?
Yeah, how's it going?
So, guys, the weather's crazy here as he slowly darts off to the side. No, so the weather is sort of looking quite nice. It's very clear, light, gentle breezes. It's actually getting sort of close to nighttime. The sun is. It hasn't started setting, but it is just a little bit over the horizon, which is around about the time that you left as well. Which means that this is sort of around about the same sort of area in the terms of the angle, just a bit further down on the globe itself. So you're roughly in the similar time zone to the island that you were just on before you went through this portal. So it's very clear, still bright enough to see, and you can still see the workers working on this place.
Really got to stop ending up in strange places.
Oh well, you've joined the wrong people for that. I'm afraid.
Yeah, you've kind of come to the wrong people. We go all sorts of different places. Although this is the first time I've actually been to these kind of places before. Although, it looks like people are doing quite a good job on your arena, as she then points out the large sort of like circle in the center of the main grounds of the island. It seems to actually have some stands as well around it, but they're sort of carved out of rock. So like just basic seating that looks like just sort of jagged steps.
That's good. That's good.
So, there are two things that we should probably sort out. First of all, we should probably discuss about the orb. Second, you should also probably get your hand checked out, Fletcher.
Yeah. But we need to make sure we get the plan sorted for this flying island.
Right. Speaking of which, I know that you said that you didn't exactly want to part with that Animon core that you have, Mr. Stan, was it?
Yes.
But if you were to part with it, we have plenty of other things that we could help you with. As a matter of fact, I might actually also be able to give you something else that might be worth your time.
Okay, but why do you need a flying island anyway?
She then rolls her eyes and sort of just like points her thumb over at Anarche.
Well, okay. It's technically not a need, but
You said it like as if it was a need about 4 hours ago.
I mean, it's not entirely a need, kind of is.
It's a heavy want.
It's a heavy one leaning into a need. So my goal is ultimately to host a tournament on this island. Essentially to, I guess, win this tournament, because to be honest with you, I cannot be bothered to hunt down everyone across the globe. And I was kind of thinking, well, sure, I could make an arena and call people here, but that's really not going to get their attention. So we need something, something solid, something to grab the attention of the wantsome people to come here. And I thought, well, Floating Island. Haven't seen many of those. That should do the trick. But yeah, as you can tell, my reasoning is not that deep.
Surely there would be more impressive things you could do than make an island float.
I mean, I'm sure there is.
That is true, but the tournament is actually destroying the world to a certain degree, so technically this big spectacle would probably be big enough to actually make people realize this is the place where it's happening.
I mean,
It's kind
I'm
of hard
fine.
from this.
Yeah,
A flying
also,
island.
I'm fine doing more than just a flying island if you can come up with more on that. That was just my basis idea. If you can think of something more impressive, then
If it's for entertainment value, I might be able to come up with some things.
Perfect.
that'd be good.
That means you'll help us?
Well, as long as I get access to the orb.
We have no issue
That's
with
fine.
that.
The only thing I ask is that it probably stays here, assuming we're gonna need it for the island.
Sure. Of course, at times, perhaps the island won't just be flying. It'll be moving around in the air, and it could lose its ability to fly at points.
If it was to do that, this landmass would probably destroy a good portion of the entirety of...
If we can land it safely, I'm cool with that.
She's just
I mean,
like
as long as
counting...
we keep it over
She begins
as long as we keep it
counting
over
on
the
her
water.
fingers. Well, actually, even if it was of that specific size and distance and portion, even if we have it over the island from here, if we were to land it in the exact same location, it would create a tsunami big enough to wipe out every island within a 300-kilometer radius.
Nah, we'll figure it out when it comes to us.
How big is the?
Well, once Aldous comes back, he can just use his space powers to make a wall that blocks the tsunami.
I don't think that'll work. I don't know who this guy is, but
Yeah, right, also,
that
speaking of
sounds
which,
like
I
too big a
could...
task.
Yeah, I probably have to agree. Although he's technically done it once on a smaller scale, but yeah. So another thing, I should probably warn you of this oldest guy. He's a bit of a Animite religious nutcase.
I mean,
So-
nutcase is a harsh word. He's more fanatical than a nutcase.
One of the orbs
Nutcase.
floats over to you and just says, "If it is the knowledge of the ongoers that you seek, I would be able to be more than helpful in your endeavor."
Right, and helping me translate the book.
Not even just that. If it is the purpose of the Animite cores that you are looking for, there are many facilities that also still have them. Also, if I am aware of your intentions, I'm more than sure that I can help you not only figure out how to build one using the Animite tome, but also help you understand how they work. After all, it was my designation.
I mean, yeah, that sounds good. I was thinking we should probably place this core in a secure location, then, right? Probably don't want it out in the open.
Fair point.
I have an idea of where we could place it. It's well, without my ability, it's pretty difficult to get to. But I could. I was thinking if you're going to stay here, would you like anything built on this island, like a place to stay or anything like that? Sure, I could just go and pay the people to build something extra.
Well, I could use a restaurant. Perhaps the place with a nice spa. Can I have my own restaurant chain and a spa in my house?
A full chain. It's kind
You
of-
want a full restaurant chain?
I don't know who's making more wishes at this point. Is Maximilian, who has the literal miracle stone, or Anarcho with his island of dreams?
Well, how big does the island look from here, Jane?
So the island itself is about it's basically a rough landmass is around about 2 kilometers radius. So around about 4 kilometers diameter. But it's covered in all sorts of like giant rocks and all sorts of stuff. The actual center of it is like a big bowl of dirt and sort of like rock. But there are huge cliff sides that make almost a bowl around it. The bowl itself is around about maybe a kilometer or a kilometer and a half in the terms of its diameter. And then the rest is just like large beaches and huge outskirted rocks that sort of go around that. It does actually seem like a smallish island, but still plenty of room for any kind of like real estate that you may need. Even though that they are currently building real estates and you can see like scaffolding and places that they're currently building up, there does seem to be still room for you to put places without it being too messy.
Well, it doesn't need to start as a chain, but I imagine after its great success at this tournament of yours, it will simply expand naturally throughout the world.
Fair enough. Well, I'll probably end up with quite a bit of money after the tournament, so we'll always be able to get more.
Yeah, you have like an entrance fee.
Right. Well, okay. Trying to think Should I at least show you where I think the a good place to place the power source, at least for now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, I will open up a portal to the cave.
When you do that, the orb, Gamma Omega specifically, actually says, wait, is it possible that I would also be able to come with you?
I mean, sure. I have no
Fantastic.
issue coming along.
He immediately just goes through your portal.
Alright. Well, I guess through the portal we go.
So,
Into a nice dark cave.
the three of you end up in a nice dark cave. You do not really see anything, either of the two of you. However, you do see a glowing orb just floating there. Apologies. Let me lighten the place up. As it then emanates a great light, you can now see the inside of this cave. Which particular part of this cave did you go to? Is it the original place that you were sent to, or is it actually somewhere else?
I'm trying to remember because there was a bit that was like more opened up, wasn't there?
There was the prisoner's well that was basically just a very long well, but then there was also the tunnel that goes all around, up, down, left, right, and then eventually it heads out to the actual lake spring, like the underground lake spring thing.
I'd probably go to like the late spring sort of part. I feel like that's a nicer area for it.
The light itself is actually a lot easier to actually see, but I will say that like the last time that you came here was a bit brighter, mostly because that the morning sun was going into it, meaning that this is actually more of an eastern face. Does it go east to west or west to east? I can't remember. Oh bollocks! Is it? Either way, it's on the side of the island where the sun would go up, and eventually the rocks would no longer have any light coming through them due to the fact that it is now the evening sun. So this thing is basically generating enough light for the two of you to see this thing. It does look like a lakeside with trees and all sorts of stuff, which again is very weird because the trees do, although they do look a little starved for sunlight, it looks relatively recent. Because again, it's almost like an inside cave where trees are actually growing on the inside, which is very strange. I guess world knowledge or botany, I guess either of you two can roll if you would like to know anything more about this. If not, we can move on.
Nah, I'm good.
Fair enough.
It's just trees.
No, that's fine. So you're there. The orb is now glowing the light. You can see some stones and some rock, some black-looking shards of glass on the ground and stuff.
There is a deeper part to this, but I thought this was probably a nice-looking area. The other part is a bit more of a pain to get to, normal means-wise.
So, is this where you shall install the coral? Coral?
Cool?
It sort of almost like glitches a bit. My apologies. Something must be wrong with my original subroutines. Is this where you shall install the core?
I mean, that's probably... It's not my island.
Although that this is slightly out of the way, it should still be able to do so. After all, the island itself will be powered regardless of where the core is. It is not specific to the exact centerpiecing of the island itself. My masters were not specific about symmetry.
Well, I mean, would you feel comfortable putting the core here? Do you think this is out of the way, or do you want a place a bit more secure?
And it'll do for now. We can increase the security when people actually come to this island.
True. We just need it working.
Then all you must do is immediately place this object into it. All you must do is place it into the ground. The core will do the rest. So, Stan, what do you do?
Yeah, I guess I'll, Well, the ground is like... Yeah, it's kind of dirt, right?
Yeah. Sort of dirt,
Yeah.
sandish, very loose.
Yeah, okay. I'll kind of shove it in it until it gets a bit firmer, I guess.
As you do so, you're sort of like grinding it in there, and then eventually it does sort of start sticking a bit more, and you suddenly just see like a bolt of this weird lightning go in through the surface of it, even around your hands. Doesn't hurt, but it just goes around your hands, and then suddenly it hits the ground, and suddenly you just see this weird pulse of this energy go through and all around the cave, the ground, everything. As you hear just this big pulse, this big doom noise, and then silence. The river begins to glow, a pinkish glow. Marvelous! It seems as though it was compatible, despite the fact that this island was not specifically, well, crafted for this particular purpose.
Well, that's a good start at least.
However, you will need to understand exactly how it is that you'll need to program this particular device if you wanted to do anything else other than just power this place.
Right, and that's obviously where the book comes in.
Actually, there are certain particular commands that you can give it already.
Like,
Well, for instance, there are a couple of things, such as a protective barrier, or even a specific one. The console command of power. The console command of power allows you to specifically infuse an object with the importance and imperative capabilities and functions, allowing that particular item to control any aspect of the entire place. It then will allow you to pretty much compromise or even install new programming within the entire island, so long as it was within the radius of the installation. My scanners are currently indicating that this entire island is covered within the energy field, meaning that anything within this radius will be allowed to be programmed as such.
well, that sounds like quite a bit of fun.
Yes, although you do have the tool for the job.
Do you mean the dagger thing, or do you mean the...
Correct. An installation key. Almost all places have these, although I have been informed that some of them do not require them. Others have certain other objects, some that are wearable, and others that are more like, well, as you would consider it, to be a dagger.
Right, well, I probably shouldn't be entrusted with the programming of this thing. I don't want to mess anything up.
Then if I may, I would suggest giving it to someone who is more afforded within this current subject.
Are we sure we want to do this now?
Well, we don't have to do this now, but...
No,
I
it
think-
must be done as soon as possible. The programming is incredibly important. If you already have the dagger, it is possible to do it now.
I mean, here, Sam. The key for... Dagger for the restaurant, you can choose one to do the program.
Okay.
Do you wish to try it now, or try just ignore this obnoxious creature?
Well, the orb is like, yeah, you should do it now, but it doesn't give you any real reason to do it now.
No,
I guess
it just wants to.
You can either roll me intelligence or animatology, I guess, so that you can actually understand roughly what it's trying to say, because it is being fairly vague and it is using its own terminology that you might not be familiar with.
I'm just guessing it's without direction. It's gonna be unstable or something, but
I don't know, something in like something in ongoer. I don't know. I'm not here for this. Yeah.
You know, Orb. I don't really see the urgency here.
Without proper programming, the island cannot be manipulated. If you do so with this particular key, you will be able to program anything without needing to go to the core again. As you already know from some of your previous, companions, this is quite dangerous to just leave unattended.
But no one's gonna come down here anyway, right?
This is still something that you should probably understand. You will have to come back down here again if you wish to program it yet again.
So what, he does it now, he can just do it wherever with the key?
So long as he is on the island, yes, no matter where he is on the island. He can control and even program it using the knife. The only reason why the control pad that you had was required was actually because of a failsafe that my masters put in place. Ironically enough, however, they both left them in the exact same chest. Sometimes I wonder, why is it exactly that they did that? He's currently questioning the intelligence of the people who left the control pad and also the programming key in the same box. If it's the control pad that was the thing that turned off the security system because of a failsafe, so that then the programming knife wouldn't be able to be used. So he's just
My question is, why did they put all the important stuff in the middle rooms? That's my real question. That seems like the most, they always, like, every time, out of my 2 times, which is clearly a lot, they always put the important stuff in the middle room. There's,
You say that, yet the Animite tail was not within your room that you chose.
No, but the orb was. And the sail cave key. And the thing for the entire control of that facility.
And yet, I was the said orb that you picked up. And yet, without my information, and without whatever you did to me, you would still have not have known all of this information that I'm currently giving you. Only because...
Yes, so my room was the most important.
For you, yes. However, if anyone else had picked it, you would not have been able to get this far.
I'm really not seeing the argument. Anyway, right. So it's up to you, Stan, if you do it now or not. It seems convenient if you do it now, but it's not a big issue.
Well, which would you rather?
I just say now, because I feel like the orb's gonna nag us if we don't do it now.
Nagging mode activated. No.
I'm
Do
gonna
it, do 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 it.
Okay, fine.
Nagging mode ceased.
Yeah, I'll try and do it then.
Okay. All you need to do is just roll animatology. If you have a practice, I would recommend it, but if not, never mind.
Nah, we'll just go luck.
Yep.
I got a natural one last time, see if I can get another one.
No!
Let's go!
Okay,
Don't jinx it!
That's enough. That's all you need. You just needed a 10. Yes, so what happens is you take this dagger and it basically says that the dagger either needs to touch or be driven into the core. Which do you do?
I'm just gonna touch it.
Okay.
It's a bit extreme.
The only reason that I said that you get that option is I didn't know if you wanted to do the God of War thing where it's like, oh yeah, I could just carefully do this, but no, I'm just going to drive my fist through this. You sort of touch the tip of this key-looking dagger against the orb, and instead of it being turned inverse, when you're doing this, the thought in your mind, because you've programmed animatology for a long time, you know how it works, you understand how it works, and you just think control. And when you think that, there's suddenly a little bit of feedback, as now there's a pulse of pink energy that goes throughout the knife, and now the dagger is no longer able to touch the core. It feels similar to magnets of opposite poles, as it's now repulsing it, not violently, but just in a sort of, just pushing it away to a certain minimum distance sort of concept. Complete. Now you will be able to program anything within the island using the entomological functions. So you now have one Jotun Gel programming knife.
Cool.
Let's go and get your restaurant built.
Nice.
A programmable prison shank.
Yes.
Whilst you are doing so, we now return to Felix. Felix, you have been wandering for a few hours, asking people here, there, and every bloody where, finding out whether or not if anyone has seen a priest dressed in pink, wearing a circlet on his head, and also having donning a mustache. As you keep going around and around, you still find nothing until eventually you hear one person tell you something about someone who looked rather sort of stressed and tired about 6 hours ago. You eventually go to this location and you find nothing. But I would like you to roll me an insight or investigation with, I'm going to say, advantage.
Okay. We're not. So I will do investigation because insight would be a -1, whereas investigation is just flat d20. They're both 16, so take your
Perfect
pick.
16. Okay, well I'll choose. I guess I'll choose 16.
It's a hard choice, I know.
I know it's a toughie. It's a toughie. So you having a look around and you start seeing some imprints into the dirt. You sort of go further and have a look, and you notice the imprints in the dirt look kind of similar to like something of a face, and you also start seeing some drag marks that lead off into the forest a bit more.
Does it look like Aldous' face?
With your 16, you don't know it definitely, but you don't want to, you have a hunch. You just don't want to, you don't want to take a chance on this if it isn't, if you know what I mean.
The face looks preachy enough.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? It's looking like you can already hear the words of our Lord and Savior Animite screaming out to you.
It looks like it's there's just a small chunk of Animite. You can kind of hear it sing like the songs of Animite. So,
do you follow the drag marks?
Yeah, I follow the drag marks.
Okay, you continue for a while. The drag marks become a little less obvious, but still obvious enough for you to keep following. There's a part of you that wishes that Rakia was with you because of her tracking capabilities, but eventually you get to a place where there's just a big bald patch of dirt where there's no more drag marks, but this is where they led to. You stand nearing the edge of it, where the drag marks end, and it's just a whole big bald patch of dirt where no trees are within a 10-meter diameter. Just a perfect circle.
So it looks like something blew up here, or
No. As I said, like the dirt just looks dirty, loose, but it doesn't look burnt or scorched or damaged. Just bald. No moss, no grass, no trees, no roots, no nothing. Just mulchy dirt. Maybe a couple of leaves on it, but that's it.
should have brought a shovel. Felix will quick transform, and I guess looking at like kind of the center, begin to dig.
Okay, so you go over to the center and you begin to dig, but as you put one hand in and pull out the dirt, you then just hear a voice from behind you just say, "And here I thought that I was going to get a smart one from your group."
Felix will turn around to see Who is talking?
Standing on a branch and leaning against a tree, about 3 or 4 meters up, is a man perfectly dressed in a beautiful suit, however wearing a wooden mask.
Well, you got the dumb muscle. So...
Indeed I did. But still, nevertheless, you're the one that is the friend of that annoying priest.
Yes, did you bury him here, or is he elsewhere?
Nothing so vulgar. As a matter of fact, I was just making sure that he was okay, but he's still yet to come to. Seems as though his body, as well as his mind, has been exhausted. But if I was to put any money on anything, I would say that your name is Mr. Fatigue, also known as Felix. You're members with those known as Adrian and Rakia. Although I'm pretty sure that they're no longer part of your crew now, are they?
Kind of makes an iffy gesture. It's like, yeah, you know, that's life.
Life indeed, although they were some of the more interesting specimens amongst your group, until I noticed that you had a catalyst amongst you. But on top of that, you also have something of an interesting specimen with you. What are you doing so far away from your, let's say, team? You're looking for him, perhaps?
At the moment, yes.
I can give him to you for a price.
What's the price?
Either something with your blood, or actually your blood itself. You choose.
How much blood we talking?
Enough for me to use for something. Not that you need to concern yourself with it, that, of course.
I think if it involves my blood, I should be concerned with it.
Then if that's the case, don't bother asking me for your friend back.
Do I need to beat this information out of you?
Trust me, many people have tried, and even though that I understand that you are indeed a strong mood muscle with incredible willpower, possibly strong enough to take anything down, I promise you, killing me is not only going to make things worse, but also is currently impossible in your current state.
Could I insight that?
Yes, you can.
It is a d20 -1, but you know, it's 11.
What specifically are you trying to insight in the words of which that he has spoken?
If he truly believes that I can't take him down in my current state, I am currently bulked up.
He is very much aware of how powerful you are. In fact, him stating that he understands that you're even a willpower user means that he knows how powerful you are. But what he's currently stating in your current state, you kind of get the idea that he either thinks that you are not as strong as he's concerned with, or maybe there's something he's not telling you about his current form.
Either way, I would prefer to get my ally back without giving blood.
I'm afraid that's not possible unless if you have anything with your own abilities infused into an object.
How much is all this worth?
I mean, let's put it this way. Aldous can make you more stuff.
Yeah.
Also, you could just beat him up and find out, but I mean, again, you don't know what this guy is hiding. Also, further negotiations may be possible, or at the very least, further threats may be possible.
Read up now, ask questions later.
I could Put it
Best
this way,
decision.
challenge you to a spar, you beat me, you get some of my blood. Confused item, if I beat you, I get my friend back.
What part of not going to happen don't you understand? When I say we're not fighting for this, I don't mean it's a suggestion. I don't mean it's a question. I mean it's a fact. You attack me, you get nothing from me. You're more than welcome to try, but I guarantee you it won't end the way that you hope.
I mean, there's no point in violence for violence sake.
Finally, he learns.
Again, I'd prefer to know what you want my blood for before I give you any of it.
Personally, I'm a scientist. I enjoy understanding more about the world. Experimentation is my thing.
Alright. That gives me almost nothing, information-wise.
You work for 10 Kudo of Lada, the doctor, correct?
Correct.
Then let us put it to this particular format. Just as he was curious about the ways in which the world works, especially with how powers are concerned, I would also like to unlock these secrets. The man is selfish and does not wish to give any of them away, and therefore I must be succumbed to the original concepts of finding my own research material. I could, of course, take it by force, but personally, I don't see the need for it, especially not violence. And he then turns to you for the sake of violence.
Well, I find your lack of wanting violence admirable. You holding my friend hostage for my blood. I don't think that's a deal I'm willing to enact.
Hold on now, who said anything about hostage? He's my patient. His exhaustion concerns me. After all, I was a doctor.
Yet you're withholding his location from me.
Correct. I don't know if you're here to slay him, as you did a certain other legendary catalyst of his breed.
Why would I be here to slay him?
Considering
He
that
is-
you also killed another with the same abilities as him not even days ago.
This one is actively a part of my crew.
As was the other one, I was made assured. You see that we're coming to a stalemate here, so it just seems like a simple thing. You either give me the blood, we attack each other, or something else is going to go horribly wrong. Regardless, you're not going to get your friend back, because I am more concerned than his safety than you are.
Is it just out of game?
I mean,
What to
obviously,
do, what
there
to
are
do.
other roles that you could potentially do to find out either information or just get the thing that you want.
Yeah.
Or you could just leave without him.
That is also true, yeah.
I'm sure you have something on you that could also maybe assist.
I mean, I don't want to give either my gauntlets or the armor. I literally just got.
Oh no, I guess blood is also in the options then?
Yeah. I also don't want to give this guy my blood, because that creates most likely more problems down the line.
Wise.
Well, I mean, looks at like all the power stealing users we've come across, and the problems they've entailed.
Hmm.
Am I going to get some kind of an answer within this millennia?
I'm unsure if you will. I'm deep in thought.
Well, I guess that is a shame. As he then stands a little, like he stops leaning against the tree, and he then stands. He goes to put like his left foot forward, and he then begins falling. As you then notice that as he hangs upside down by his right leg, and then finally when he swings, his left leg wraps around the tree as he is now hanging upside down, still, by the way, with his arms crossed. This is quite the conundrum for you, isn't it? Who exactly in your past has made you so closed off to the scientific world?
Let's just say there are certain deal makers that I have grown wary of.
Fergus. I've heard of him, the deal maker. Fergus, also known as the Devil Man to others, depending on your translation. He is upset, pissed off, and even given way too many things to certain people who don't deserve it, and stolen things from those who may or may not be deserving. You are claiming of this man, are you not?
Correct.
I cannot guarantee you that what I am doing is or isn't nefarious. The only reason that I can state this is because anyone could consider anyone's goals nefarious. So, I guess we're at a stalemate, are we not?
I suppose we are. But when it comes to borrowing my blood for my powers, I can't see many ways that would involve helpful situations other than violence in the future. I am purely strength-based.
Then, as he sort of like puts his hand in front of his face, his entire palm of his hand opened up, his fingers outstretched, except from his finger and his thumb, and they are almost touching, as he then says, "Then, the expectation and the understanding of how your powers work are about this compared to the rest of the world. Tiny and insignificant compared to what could be out there." As he opens his arms, still hanging upside down from this tree, looking like a complete crazed lunatic. Let me inform you, the power to stockpile emotional energy is something that humans have always been concerned with. It's something that not many people understand, and yes, although that you use it for violence, it is not to say that everyone else could, should, or would use it as so.
Yet it is a very easy means to violence, so giving it to other people
As was
lightens
the
the
knife.
chance for more violence.
The knife was originally designed for all sorts of things, but originally the sharp spears that were created by the Neanderthals were originally used to kill and hunt. But now we use knives to cut in the kitchen, and yet still people use them for death. It does not necessarily mean that a knife is evil, nor are the powers that you hold or wield. And yet you are still standing here before me, claiming that your powers are evil, and yet you're the one who wields them. Father of two, husband, loving and concerning for all friends and family, and yet, despite this, Mr. Fatigue, you claim your incredible, obstinate power as not only your own, but only yourself is without blame for the violence you commit.
I'm not a perfect person. I've committed many atrocities throughout my lifetime. I'm known by many, if not my party. But giving the power to more people, giving even the chance for more people to cause harm. I know I might sound like a hypocrite for given the harm I have caused, but I don't want to add to the harm that has already happened.
And who's to say that I am?
I wouldn't know.
Exactly. The two of us are people who are currently locked in a battle of philosophy, but yet the truth is, you have a friend that you'd wish to see, I have a patient I'd wish to make sure is fine, and yet we still want something. You want to see him again, and I want something of you. Your powers could very well help me for my endeavors later on within this world. If you're concerned about a certain necrokinetic using your powers, you have no concern. I will not use them against you nor your party.
But who will you use them against, and what will you use them for?
Interesting logic, immediately claiming that I would even use them against someone. But then again, you have no other reason but to believe that I wouldn't, so that is fair. Let us just say that I personally would not be using them for any particular means of war, but instead, curiosity.
Fair enough. Alright then, if you promise not to use them for violence, I will give you my blood.
I promise you, I will not personally use them for violence, and I will try.
I don't like the word personally there. Are you going to use them for violence or not?
I will not be using them for violence, no.
The emphasis on the I. Are you giving them to someone to use for in any means?
Currently, there is no one that I would even be able to give them to, and also anyone within the world right now that would want them, I would not trust them. If these are your questions and your concerns, then trust me, we have an easy accord.
Okay. Just as long as they are not used for violence. He'll hand out, reach out his arm, kind of like in the gesture of you can draw blood from here.
The only issue is that currently I am completely aware that you are still within your infused ability form. If I was to try and prick your hand, I would actually break even probably steel against your skin.
And that can be fixed really easily. He de-transforms. What's his stockpile at? It was at 45 previously.
I'm going to say that was about 10 minutes of talking, so 10 minutes is gone, so 40.
35?
Yeah,
40?
Yeah, 40, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He then snaps his fingers and sort of twists his arm in a certain way. The tree begins growing like a sort of like creepy looking humanoid thing with like fucking razor arms, like fingers start growing from these root hands as you notice that his entire hand is covered in thorns. As it then clasps your hand, it then grinds its hand against yours as it slices open and blood begins to pour down into its right hand, which is underneath your own. As it does so, the blood trickles into and eventually seeps into the wood. He then begins to say, I apologize for the means, but normally I would keep tools on me for such an occasion, but I had to be sure that it was possible. If you are permitting, I can, in fact, heal your hand if you are so inclined.
I will allow that, yes.
Very well. Snaps his fingers again. Your hand begins healing. The pain begins to wilt and dwindle away until your hand, it's like as if nothing ever happened. The weird, creepy clone thing begins drawing itself back within the tree until the tree looks as if it was moments ago before something came from it. Very well. I shall indeed give you back your friend. If you have my opinion, he just needs a good long rest. However, I was to try to fix his, current injuries. It seems as though something badly burned his head. I was able to focus on the follicles. He should now be able to grow hair back on it, but I would not suggest accelerating that. Just giving it time.
Fair enough.
Also, if there are any particular ailments that currently your party are dealing with, I would be more than happy to look over them.
At the current moment, I am not aware of any.
That is fair. But a lot can happen in 6 hours, Mr. Felix. Just remember that. As he says that, his legs beginning to shrink into the tree until eventually that he has no legs and it's just his hip sticking out from the tree as he begins seeping into the branch, becoming one with it, until he just says these last words. Take care of yourself, and don't worry, if I see Mr. Fergus standing around, I'll let him know that you're coming for him.
Felix will just nod as he's going under the ground. With that.
As that happens, the tree bursts from it as it opens up. The individual in question, he's covered in some really awful-looking juice and sap, like as if he was embedded into a giant berry and the tree opening burst it. He is covered in awful amounts of sticky juice and sap and all sorts of weird, goopy flesh from what you can only assume is a gigantic grape or berry of some sort.
The fruit of the harvest. Picks him up, and I guess, well, where would I go? Like, should I just contact Anake?
I feel like you would contact Anake at this point, because you've been away for 6 hours, nearly 7.
Yeah, just... Now, I know Anake has, like, I'm pretty sure Anake has a band, right? So
I have a band and a phone. So
yes.
I will do the phone option. Just, you know, I've found Aldous covered in sap. If you could pick us up, that'd be great. You can use the band to locate us, so you know where we are.
Oh, no need. I'll open a portal to Big Swartle.
Oh yes, I forgot that you still had that on your back. A portal opens behind you, Felix, and in front of you, Anake. As you step through it, you see Felix behind you. The two of you, I'm assuming, go through the portal that Anake just came from, back to Jotun Jail Island. As the lot of you are done, I go back now to Stan. Stan, did you wanted your you wanted like your own like building with all sorts of bits and pieces in it, didn't you?
Yep.
As you're doing so, like you're coming back, do you tell Anake like what the specifications are so that he knows what the builders need to do?
Oh yeah.
As you're doing so, the orb floats over, hovers right in front of your face, so it's in between yours and Anake's faces, and as it goes, I have an idea.
Kind of in my personal space.
I apologize. Then, like, floats backwards a bit. But I might be able to help you with this particular endeavor.
God, during this time, Felix is just taking Aldous to like a bath or something, just get the sap off them.
There are no baths there yet.
Bathe him in the purple river.
In the purple river.
I mean, you'd have to be teleported there, but you could always go to the pink river, or you could just go to one of the beaches, but you'd be walking for a couple of kilometers, basically.
No, it's good cardio.
Fair. Yes, the orb says it has an idea and a plan, if you are willing to hear it out.
Yeah, I'm willing to hear it.
The dagger itself now has the ability to construct whatever you particularly need. The only issue, however, is that you will maybe perhaps need to have some particular understanding and knowledge of it. Although...
Well, I can't make things out of raw materials that don't exist, right?
No. However, there may be something that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, There is something that is possible with your own kind. Something that you may have not actually understood or known before. We must speak with Alpha Zeta.
Why can't we just cut to the chase now?
Your particular type of physiological in traits are actually something that Alpha Zeta might actually know.
Yeah, I think I know enough about myself. Really.
Very well, then this is going to be unpleasant for you. Perhaps your particular abilities and affinities may be able to be used. My masters did this when creating our personalities. All you need is a drop of your own blood, and since the particular affinity that you need, you could be able to program the island to do exactly what your own blood does, and program it in the way that you need, so long as you understand not only your own powers, but also the animatological traits and features you will need to add to this particular installation. Roll me intelligence, unless if you understand what I just said there, but roll intelligence or animatology.
I'll roll on it.
Okay. Just had to turn on the light, it was just getting very dark over here. Ooh, wow, okay, 29. Okay, so...
What's a good roll for me?
What he's telling is, basically the ongoers had an ability where if they knew a specific trade, ability, affinity, or had some kind of capability that others didn't know, they could program those specific abilities using their own blood. This is the earliest stages of blood infusion, because it would be a part of them, a piece of their will infused into this blood when cutting themselves, or getting a treatment of blood, and then immediately using a programming object to do so. You could cut to the chase and literally cut your hand or stab your own hand and then use the programming knife to program the specific part of land to turn into whatever normally your powers allow things to turn into. The range, however, is not specific or explained, so you don't know what the range would be.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, I'll probably just use my powers to, make a kind of jet out of my finger and, spray blood on it.
I forgot that you can do that. Okay, yeah, go for it. Roll SP.
Why not?
That would be a 15, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Finger gun.
Blood finger gun.
It's like your hand turns into a...
Power washing finger jet! Anyway, so yeah, you do that. What do you do then? So do you spray it on the knife? Do you spray it on the ground and then stab it with the knife? What do you do?
Nah, I spray on the knife. Just yeah.
And then what do
Just
you...
the end of my finger opens up and I kind of pressurize the blood to spew out.
Okay, so now that you do that, what do you do when you think about it when you try to program the knife? Or program whilst wielding the knife?
I mean... That's a good question.
Let's say the house thing for now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll animatology.
Trying to think of my whole interior design thing,
That'll be fine. High enough roll with animatology, you'll be fine, considering that you already got an incredibly good roll with, Yeah, that's good. That's good. So you do so, you use the jet to spray the knife, you stab it into the ground, and then you think of your, home or whatever. The ground begins to sort of pulse, and then suddenly, trickles of these weird, lightning-looking, forking veins of energy, this pink light, goes all over the place, and eventually locates a specific area and size. As then the ground begins to sort of bubble, and warp until eventually bursting out of it comes this large house with all sorts of different materials, shapes, sizes, everything, as it's fully finished and completed by the end of around about a minute. You remove the knife from the ground, the house is completed.
Oh yeah.
This is something that is both cool to you, but also quite weird, because you know that you can't turn into large buildings of this size. But yet this knife seems to have expanded not only your range, but the types of things that your blood can be programmed to do. So long as it's roughly an inanimate object, it seems that that's how it can work. The only reason I'm going to say this is because that you got a 29 and a 19 on both of the animatology rolls, and also your insanely good SP, but that's how you've now understood that this knife seems to have some capability of allowing you to control the range within the island, and also something else with your own powers.
Ah yes, the island is my oyster now.
Fun fact, just here so that you'd know this: if you had taken the house shifter or the building shifter ability, this would have not done anything for you any differently. Because house shifter allows you to turn into larger objects and so on and so forth, and turn into even buildings. This tech shifter allows you to turn into actual objects and technology. This thing increases your range, so technically you can just make boxes out of concrete, which therefore means that, it can be 10 meters big, 20 meters big, or you can then make buildings because of the knife's programming and manipulation ability.
Yeah.
But yes, I want to point out every party member sees this, but also so do the constructors, as one of them throws down his tools and go, "If this guy's on the team, I quit!"
Yeah, congratulations. You put an entire work sector out of jobs. That's pretty impressive.
The boulder,
they can keep working. I'm not here to take anyone's job.
The boulder, by the way, slams his foot down as 3 or 4 out of the earth itself buildings begin to mold and perfectly make houses, buildings, and a tower. As he just goes, "I will not be showed down by anyone, regardless of your background. I am the boulder."
Yeah, man. That doesn't really have much artistic flair.
The boulder is not an artist. The boulder is a constructor.
I mean, that is a type of art.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, you can always add artistic flair afterwards, so.
The boulder is continuing to make his perfect. I'm building. The boulder immediately removes his bravado and just continues going on. It's like, I'm going to get on with what I need to do.
Alright, see you later.
So,
well, I'm gonna go read, guys.
I kind of need to get some water for the hot springs in my house.
The orb informs you that is something that is definitely possible. I was going to say, in this particular instance, is everyone okay with having a couple of days or a couple of weeks of time skip for the whole rest of this island to be built?
I'm okay with that. I'll say Felix would have mentioned what happened while he was retrieving all this to the party.
Roll me history, I'm going to say with advantage, Fletcher.
Was expecting that. 11.
That sort of sounds like, if not almost entirely sounds like, Poison Oak, or as you know them, Cleaforth.
Oh, great. The Dealmaker and Cleaforth. I mean, I honestly can't blame you for... It's hard to think who his greater of the two evils. I think trusting Cleathoth in this one kind of was the better option. After all, Fergus did say he was looking for Cleathoth as well, so, an enemy of my enemy is our friend.
Either way,
Still.
it's just good to have you all know that whoever he is, he has my blood. Which, while they did state not to use it for harm, it could come to harm either way.
You're good. I'm sure it will be fine though. Don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, there's honestly worse blood he could have.
To be honest, I think that that's probably for the best anyway. After all, we got Aldous back, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I know that you don't understand or even like the concept of their religion, but he's definitely helped us out in the past, and so far he hasn't done anything against us. So,
No, if he just stops nagging about his religion all the time, it'd be fine.
true.
I mean, that's why he made the promise.
Yeah, so I gave him the church, so he can shut up about it.
But, Anarche, isn't it great that you can rely on these people? She then places her hand on you, and she just looks at you and she just goes, you can rely on all of us. You know that, right?
I'm not here for stats.
I would like you to roll me a nerve if you're going to do
I'm off
that.
now, bye.
Everyone
Roll
make
me
big
nerve.
smiles, friendly
Roll me
faces.
nerve. And I'm going to say, hintity hint, Anarche, you have to roll me a nerve with disadvantage.
Do I have to? So is everyone rolling nerve? Who's all
No,
rolling nerve?
No, it's just Anarche. Okay, for...
Oh!
Yeah,
So-
I see how you've done me like this. I would have been fine if it wasn't for this advantage.
So I want to point this out. You can potentially roll one last thing, but I want to point this out. Regardless, you now feel like, at the very least, maybe she's right, but even if she's not right, you at the very least think that she's right about herself. That she is a true friend, and maybe potentially she actually does care about you. But here's the thing. You can deny at the very least everyone else but her if you get a decent enough willpower roll, which you are allowed to roll naturally, if you would like to
Oh,
go
boy.
against the grain.
Let's do it.
I will say, your literal introduction to feeling was him betraying the party.
It was.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Don't make me do two
And
separate rolls.
Fletcher
one for the party, one
keeps
for the
dying. So,
But she is
Yes,
kind
but he
of...
hasn't done anything against you.
But anyway, so roll
No,
willpower. Roll willpower. And dependent on her... Ooh, okay, so... You know that she's right about these people. You're not necessarily sure about Aldous, but you do know that Aldous is at least either too silly in the ways of... he's too priesty to necessarily be bad for you, but you don't consider him anything closer than a person who exists within your proximity, right? With this willpower check, you are able to sort of understand that maybe these guys might be friends. But, and here comes the but, you are at the very least able to stave off showing anyone else outside of this moment that you have any emotions towards them past a joke. So with this willpower, yes, you're able to hide it. Yes, you might not actually necessarily be able to feel a potential friendship with these guys at the moment. But Pinky is potentially a true friend. Nevertheless,
shake the shoulder off.
yeah, you shake the
hand
shoulder
off
off,
the shoulder.
and it's kind of that thing of like the whole bro meme. But it's like, get the hell off me, and then immediately you're gonna go somewhere else and just go, just think, I'm not gonna cry, but so none of them notice this. None of them see you
I
weaken.
I shake it off and I go, no, I have reading to do, so I can get this whole island thing going.
The cookies I made you not worth our friendship?
And the milkshake.
Have you made them yet? I don't remember these cookies.
Oh yeah, to be fair.
I'm pretty sure I did, didn't I?
You made some cookies way back when you were back in your house, but you haven't made them since. So it's been like
I mean,
almost a week, if not almost
We-
2 weeks.
Bribe me more, and maybe we'll have a friendship.
to be fair, we haven't really had much access to kitchen stuff.
Alright,
Okay,
well,
so
Our favorite character.
is everyone
Yeah.
else okay with a time skip now, or
During the time skip, I will go make cookies.
okay, fair enough.
also, I will say this: if Felix wants to go and see his family at any point, I will.
you
I will
have the ability to
transport
do
them.
so. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think Felix will want to directly go there just to make sure he's not drawing attention to that area. But he will like be checking up
Yeah.
to 10
Okay.
every now and again.
Fletcher, yourself.
I want to locate Dias Miyamoto.
Okay,
Sorry.
we'll come to that in a second. So everyone gets healed up. And what I mean by this is, I mean at some point during the 2 weeks that you have off, eventually after a couple of days, so about 2-3 days left, 2 or 3 days after, Aldous does actually wake up. He is actually feeling a lot better. He even says that some of the ailments that he had beforehand, like say for instance a cavity or two, is now gone.
His hair loss.
Like his hair loss, like he's actually you're actually starting to see some stubble where he eventually lost some hair from the explosion. But also he's even starting to say that like actually I didn't have hair up to here on my head. So it's like it's really weird that some of these ailments are gone. He even says like maybe like a tennis elbow from back when he was at part of the squash club or something. That's also cured up as well. Like literally he just has no idea what's happened, but also his skin feels silky smooth.
Not that we're feeling his skin, but yeah.
No.
Yep.
But he feels his skin. That's what I'm trying to say. He says, "Oh, my skin, it feels a lot smoother than it used to be. Maybe it's the great power of Animite." But as this
Maybe
goes on,
it's sap.
Felix, you obviously spend some time talking to your family, and RK, you read. Stan, I'm assuming that you're trying to figure out more about the knife, or actually, Pinky then gives you some blueprints for pieces of animatology, and also, more importantly, something known as an as animite prosthesis, which apparently is their form of using animite powers and animatology to infuse and power up old age versions of prosthetics. Basically, prostheses that specifically are powered by the powers of animatology.
Mhm.
She says this, when she says something when she gives these to you, however, she says, because that you might be working with us, but also because that you helped all of us get out of there. And if you are going to be part of this team, I need to show you the same kindness that everyone else would show each other. So here's this. And then she says this. She says, "Here are these." And then she then says, "You dick." And then she immediately walks out. I want to point out she's learnt from all of you, so.
I mean, Felix never slayed.
No, but the kindness is Felix. The "you dick" is from Fletcher and RK, obviously.
I thought you were like, she learned this from all of you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Confused with this whole group anyway. I mean, he doesn't really know who they are. They don't really know who he is.
No. But
He's
maybe
doing his thing.
But maybe in this time you may actually get to explain this. Do you talk to them throughout these 2 weeks about who you are?
It depends what they're doing.
I'd say
Well, I mean,
Because I mean,
I'd say
who's actually around the island?
I'd say a couple of nights, at the very least over the 2 weeks, there is at least a couple of nights where everyone is together, where they all have like a sort of thing of like, hey, let's have some food, some muffins, some booze, whatever.
some cookies,
Some cookies that he's been baking. During that time, do you ever talk to them about who you are and introduce yourself to the party? Any further than your name?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, also probably makes a point of like being starving, but like never eating. Anyways, was kind of sick, but Yeah, he kind of sits at the. I guess are we sitting around a fire? Are we sitting around a table?
In the earlier parts of the 2 weeks, you are definitely sitting around a fire. After a while, it becomes more you actually sitting around a table that has lights, as you have been able to help with the electronics and stuff.
So, what's the deal with you guys? I mean, I've kind of ended up on this island with you, and we're just doing each other favors, but it's pretty confusing.
Well, me and Felix have been part of this tournament you probably know is going along since really the beginning.
And then he died 3 times, and he's no longer a part of the tournament.
This
Well,
tournament. Who's running this tournament again?
Stilton Maximilian.
That's it.
Yeah.
I knew I forgot his name. He's a multi-billion, or even higher than that, billion or trillionaire. He created a lot of the animatology that we use in the current everyday today. He even created a specific over-the-world type of device that allows us to connect to each other, similar to the internet, except from far more vastly expanded. He calls it the subnet. He uses it, and he even created these particular type of bands that both Anake and Felix have on their arms. Show him, guys.
Felix, pulls out his arm, maybe flexing a bit. But he's not powered up. He's not powered up, so while he is muscly, he is very muscular.
Dude, you have the highest strength in the game. You definitely are muscular. Like, regardless of power buff, you might not be Escanor, but you're definitely Esterosa in the terms of beefcake.
the bands in themselves have a lot of nice features. Clock, calling, locator, and can also tell you nice places to visit.
By the way, this is around about the time in the week that you suddenly come to the remembrance of, oh shit, they have a locator. That's how we could find Dias Miyamoto again.
I mean, Felix did literally say, hey, if you need to locate me, you could use the band.
Yeah.
So these are some kind of animatology, right?
Kinda. Stilton Maximilian never explicitly specified what they were, but so far than I know, they might be something a little bit more. Maybe you could have a look at them?
I guess. I mean, it's not my only area of expertise.
Ooh. Other talents,
and
maybe.
No, go.
What would be to happen if I took off your arm or wrist?
The entire room goes silent for a second.
Judging from what happened to Rakia, it will just teleport to another location on your limb.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Never met anyone who actually lost an arm or a limb or a ligament that actually had a band on it. So it just appeared on another part of her body?
Yeah, it just teleported the other arm.
Oh.
Don't tell her I said that.
I don't even know who she is, so it's okay.
Well, I'm surprised you don't. I keep telling you that she's my master.
Well, I've never met her, so, you know. It's not that I don't know of her, I just don't know her personally.
Ah, fair. I think you would like her.
By the way, at this point, whilst you're sat around, one of the orbs is just watching food, and then goes, I have never wondered about food. However, this particular concoction, a cookie, seems like as if it would be a perfect appetizer. I do not understand too much about the human's capability of hunger or even taste. I wonder. And it then proceeds to slam multiple times into the plate until both the plate is cracked and broken and the cookies are smashed into mush. This was not a pleasant experience.
Well, you don't have a mouth, so you can't really, or a digestive system.
Alpha Zeta looks at you. Ah, yes, it is a mouth that I require. Perhaps maybe next time I shall ask my creator... Oh. It just looks like as if it gets depressed in the corner.
Hey, don't worry. Fletcher will go over and comfort, saying, yes, I have also lost my creators. We share our sympathy with that.
Nevertheless, we should probably explain. Obviously, some of us are fighters, some of us aren't. But regardless, we're still hoping that the tournament will end soon, even if it means that we have to be a reason for it. But...
gotta go out with style, at least, if we are gonna end it.
But what about yourself? You never told us too much, and you kind of have a point. We almost kind of kidnapped you.
Not a first for this party, honestly.
Wait, what? Well, yeah, I guess also I'm part of that as well.
Kinda, yeah.
Welcome.
Very well then. I don't really know how I ended up where I was. I think I was looking for something to do with the ongoing technology around there, but I don't remember how long I'd been there. I think something went on the fritz, and I had to eject all of my cybernetics.
You say cybernetics, but
Some kind of...
aren't you made of flesh?
Sometimes.
You're a shifter.
Yes. But lately I've been experiencing some kind of disturbances. I'm not really sure what it is. Perhaps my mind is going, but... yeah, my technology's been backfiring lately.
How recently did this happen?
I can't really remember. Something to do with being on that island, or maybe longer than that.
I've only ever heard of people glitching their powers when it came down to certain other abilities being within a proximity of them. But if you're a shifter, there's only two reasons. It's either your knowledge of certain things, or, well, animatology. I've only ever heard of that anyway. But if that's the case, how long have you known about animatology of the level that you do?
Well, I've known about it a while. I've been picking up knowledge from around the place, touring about as you do. It's been... I've collected knowledge on these matters for probably about 30 years.
Well traveled.
So
I don't really remember much about the places, more about the items and methods that I find.
you've been all over the place then.
I guess so.
Well, nevertheless, I hope that you find what you're looking for with us. We are a bit of an odd bunch, but we have plenty of things to go around. We have a multiversal traveler, as she sort of like puts her arm around Anake. We also have a high-strung fighting dad. She then points over whilst holding a glass in her hand, over to Felix. And then we also have a nomad who seems to never seem to win too many of his fights. On top of that, we also have a priest who believes that Animite is a god. So, I guess with all of those weirdos, myself included, I've always wanted to see the world. I only ever lived in Husconia until about 4 days? It's been a week!
Time flies when you're having good times with friends.
I just don't get how you can be satisfied with just exploring one planet.
She then looks at you with the dullest expression, like as if you just shat on her parade. Well,
I mean, it just seems so, like, I don't know. I'm so used to exploring multitudes of planets and other things. It just kind of like, it just seems dull to like just set your sights on one planet. I mean, in your universe, it seems like you got quite a few planets. You need to go and explore those. That sounds like a lot more fun.
she crosses her arms and has a bit of a cross, condescending face on when she goes, "Well, Mr. Traveller of the Universe and Multiverse, why is it that you've stuck around here for so long?"
Because it was something new, I guess.
None of us have travelled to such a degree that any of us would want to leave this place. Right?
Well,
Alright. What about the moon?
Didn't really.
That seems like a fun place to start.
We also
I was
realize
always
a lot of
curious.
us can't
Whoa.
breathe in space.
I second with
Oh! Sorry?
I mean, not until recently.
I mean, it's not exact. Well, okay, I don't know exactly how to do it myself, but space travel isn't exactly the hardest thing, I'm sure, especially. So, I mean, I'm sure we can figure out how to get to the moon.
Well-
yeah, I could probably work on something pretty quickly. It's not that far, right?
No, not there. It's pretty close, to be honest.
First of all, the moon is a lot further than you think. Second, I think we've got a few more things to concern ourselves with right now than a moon.
Ooh, tournament on the moon.
Oh, that would be
Ooh.
exciting.
She puts her
That
hand.
low gravity. That sounds like fun.
She puts her hand back on your shoulder and just goes, "Look, I understand that you're getting excited, but it's starting to get a little out of hand. You need to know."
That's not out of hand. That's reasonable.
It's not out of hand, it's out of this world.
Hey!
Don't encourage him, guys. You all understand that we need to do this to win. Also to stop this. Look,
I mean, a tournament on the moon would draw so much attention, though, that no one would be able to ignore us.
look, guys, it's fine the way that it is. I mean, after all, it's crazy enough that we're going to have an entire island floating soon enough as it is, right?
I mean, then there's not a big step from that. Then once you have a floating island,
I agree
you
with
can really
Tracy.
just go to space.
I would rather this tournament be over as soon as we can get it over.
We'll put.
If you want to start a second tournament on the, by all means.
But probably best to do it, as I think Felix is trying to get at, best to do it after the Crucible of Avarice is finished. Right, Mr. Fatigue?
Correct.
There. So we're both in agreement. Moon tournament after we figured out the Avarice tournament.
Alright, Mom, alright, Dad, jeez, alright.
Yes.
I'm younger than you.
You're acting like one. Spoil sport.
I don't know
Alright,
if I
fine.
like your tone, Mr. Multiversal Traveler.
Well, you have to put up with it. Alright, well.
Say, if you are traveling around, do you mind? Hang on. Let me try something quickly. I'm gonna see if I can make something.
Make it! Make it so!
Make the do the thing.
It.
Julie, do the
Yes.
thing.
He just kind of coughs up like a little, it's kind of it looks similar to like a, it's gonna sound weird, but if you know what I mean, like, the second generation Digivites.
Oh yes.
Slightly bigger with like the antenna coming out, and it's kind of pointed at the tip. Do you mind carrying this with you?
No. What does it do exactly?
Just press the red button whenever you come into contact with a portal or some other dimension.
Sure. All right.
I'll
So,
probably need that back in a bit.
that's your power. You can shapeshift and turn things into all sorts of pieces of tech, but you can also wrench it off your body and it can become separate from you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we've got a few different oddballs of powers, but I guess welcome to the team.
Glad to have you aboard, Stan.
Well, things haven't gotten out of hand yet.
No,
Trust
sure.
me.
Things are pretty stall at the moment.
They will. She rolls her eyes and continues drinking.
I mean, we're starting a tournament drawing opponents to us. It will.
And with my curse, it will inevitably happen to me.
True. Actually, speaking of which, I don't really understand how to do the implications of this, but considering you have more knowledge than I do, it might be something you might be able to drum up with my abilities. So, within my pocket dimension, it has like a reverse effect where, you know, after, say, you fight in it, ultimately, after a while, the people inside will reset after, you know, X thing happens. So if you die in there, you just reset. You know, you come out, you reset back to when you first entered. So I was wondering if we could somehow get that effect, like, over the arena, I don't have to worry about...
You suddenly hear the
people
orb,
dying.
like one of the orb, Alpha and Zeta, just go ballistic. Wait, what? Immediately just going over and hovering in your face. You're telling me
personal space first.
It still doesn't listen. You're telling me that you have the access to what's known as a potential phantom gate, the theoretical possibility of a dimension that has no effects from time, space, and physical reality?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty common in the grand universe of things.
My masters originally believed that this thing was possible, but never actually was able to gain access to it. Although it was more of a storytelling and fictional device, but now that it is actually something that is possible, this is impressive. How were you able to access such a dimension?
My pals, I seems to have a natural connection to said place.
Fascinating. You must show me more of this at some point.
I could show you now if you want.
Please do.
Alright, I open up a pocket dimension his size.
He walks.
Also, Joe,
he,
with the-
walks. He passes through the portal.
I close it. Oh, he's gone.
I saw it
also-
coming a mile away, but I still had to do it.
Yeah. Real
Nice.
quick, with the time skip, is Felix's stockpile back up?
Yeah, I'm going to say over 2 weeks you have built it up over that part.
Yeah.
Also, I want to ask, Joe, if I'm... The reading of the
reading of the...
tome, my pocket dimension.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Animite tome. Considering I will be reading this over the... I guess the week to come, or however long we're actually doing this for. Probably every day, to be fair. Specifically, I guess when he's... Because of remembering the searching function that the other book had, specifically looking for knowledge on how he would achieve raising this island from the ground.
Right.
How much of this book would I have read, and how much more do I have to read?
Okay, so how many hours a day would you have used and devoted to this book? Are you currently calculating it, or?
Oh, he's... Oh, there we go. Still
Could be
muted,
him.
though.
Okay, I'm just having a look at it now. Is Kane still there?
Mm-hmm.
I am back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if you could get a calculator up, and depending on how many hours you want to do, I'm going to say 10 hours or 8 hours or something. Yeah, let's say 8 hours.
I think 8 makes the most sense.
So 8 times 14.
Okay. Let me grab my phone.
112.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
112, did you say?
I thought so.
Yeah, it is.
By the end of the 2 weeks, which, by the way, is still before the end of this. So you guys have had this meeting in the first couple of days, but by the end of the 2 weeks, you would have done 112 out of 117 hours of the Book of Physics.
Oh, nice.
So you got 5 hours left.
Yep.
Okay, so so you start talking to Stan about the fact that how your powers work with the Phantom Gate. Oh, the Phantom Gate. Okay, yeah, have a look at it. Bye. Anyway, close up. Anyway, back to what you were saying to Stan about the Phantom Gate.
Yes. So it has those properties of capably resetting. So I was hoping we could put that possibly over the arena and maybe in the waiting area of the fighting arena, just so that once people sort of go in, they fight, and no matter the consequences of the actions, everyone walks out alive. So,
But hang on. If that's the case, wouldn't that mess with the tournament?
no, because all it needs is to. I don't think so. I mean, we could always test it within my pocket dimension by just, picking on some poor person and seeing if I get points out of them. But I'm pretty sure it should work.
I'm going to ask everyone to roll me a history check, I guess.
Okay.
Who doesn't love history checks?
History!
Where is my history? Let me... Okay, so it's just a flat...
Although most of you have never seen anyone in a Phantom Gate necessarily been defeated and gain points from it, you have at least seen it that anyone within a pocket dimension or inside of a location was still able to gain the footage from inside there. So one would believe to think, connecting those dots, points may still be able to be gotten even though that a Phantom Gate resets their physical bodies.
Honestly, it just sounds like the original tournament. When we were in it, Felix. We'd fight, and then no matter what happened, you were fine by the end.
I was taken out round 1 at one time.
Regardless of that, it still would mean that less people would actually be affected by this. It means that then more people can just get back to their regular lives.
Also, the arena might also reset itself, which would be convenient.
Less collateral damage for your island.
Yeah.
If you're able to program stuff, surely that could be a possibility with your blood then, Anarchy.
Oh, That's what I was thinking, yeah. But I don't really understand it. It's just an idea, so...
Well, it should be, but I think it would... Perhaps it might only affect the actual arena rather than the people.
Maybe. Well, take some time. Nothing urgent. Just if we can get an idea of what can be done before the tournament, that would be good. So.
Say, did you press the button with that portal?
Give me a second. I open up a very small version so the orb can't get out, and then I press the button.
Just hear the orb screaming from the inside.
Yeah.
That's a marvelous episode. Indefinitely that happened.
As the portal closed. So yeah, what do you get out from it? Sorry.
Press the button.
I press the button when I open it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after doing so, I close it.
The button Stan gave.
Oh, okay. What is this button supposed to do?
It's like a red record button, so like stores the data of basically the frequency of like the portal and the dimension.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you give it to him, and Arcade presses it when his hand is in, and then he lets go and like allows the portal to close in, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that the button is still in there. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You can like, yeah, he like pulls it out as he closes the portal.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Some data. So we can figure out how this.
And okay, mind if I look at your just to see how many points you need left for completing the tournament?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I spent quite a bit buying stuff for the island, but I will post my number.
And then
Could put it in dice rolls, couldn't I? Or
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 9.5 mil.
And we need 99 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah. 99 mil.
And I have 21 mil.
So far in total, you have just over 30 mil.
Yes. It'd be like 32 mil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll post my points as well, just so we have.
Yeah, fair enough.
If we wanted to get the exact amount.
Speaking of which, I have some ideas of how I want to run this tournament, but I thought I would go it over you guys first before we do so.
Fair.
So I was thinking of being a team-based tournament for convenience sakes. I haven't really decided how big the team may be. Maybe like 4 or 5 people.
Maybe the convenient size of the party.
Maybe the convenient size of the party. You know, hey, look, I'm in charge. I get to rig the tournament however I want. So my idea was that we do that. Maybe the size, whatever size of the group we want it to be, that will be what we set it. And then essentially, other people have to form groups or, bring groups that size to this tournament. And essentially, we'll almost be, I guess you could say, the boss battle of the arena. So a group will fight us. We'll go, say, one person at a time from each team. We can choose whoever goes first, and we can change it each time we want. We sort of choose which fighter we're putting in there as a group. And then the two people fight, when someone wins, eventually they can either choose to stay in or they can go out. But the whole point is to obviously defeat the whole team. When they lose to us, I should say, they then have to battle 2 other teams in the arena to then get the right to fight us again.
Hmm.
And so essentially, we can get... Yeah, no, go on.
They all verse us straight away. They inevitably lose. Then they must fight each other, gaining points, to then try again with us, inevitably becoming a cycle of we beat them again, until we pretty much win the tournament.
Not that I don't believe that you could do this to any particular fighter within the world, considering how strong that I've seen you, but what happens if your entire team gets beaten?
That's a funny joke, Pinky. That's pretty good.
Okay, I get it. It's, whatever, but still, just humor me for a second. What actually happens then?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
She then just smacks her own head with her fucking palm of her hand. It's just like, I swear you guys are gonna kill me out of stress.
I assume we would just be hosts at that point.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Or what if we have to?
I mean, or maybe whoever beats us then becomes the boss, and we have to earn the right to fight them again.
In other words, we have to beat 2 other teams before we get to fight
And the
them
tournament
again?
only ends until someone hits the high number.
I'm not gonna lie, although that it does seem a little confusing, it also seems like a gigantic festival for these brutish people to come in and fight. It actually could be a better idea, an alternative.
Who's enforcing the rules? How is that gonna work?
I mean, it could be one of us, considering that Anake is the one who owns the island. It could be either any of us, or even him himself. Although,
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it is a good idea for me to fight against these kind of lunatics. I wouldn't mind being some kind of person in charge.
But Pinky, this would be great experience for you, with no drawbacks.
I've no
If we
doubt,
could lead,
but I'm looking at it from a completely logical perspective. If the 2 of us, or hell, even if a certain amount of us try to get into the arena, we would potentially let the entire team down. Besides, I'm looking at it from another perspective as well. If Anake goes off and wants to do his own thing, I think I'm the only one who can be able to convince people to not do so.
explain.
Okay, tell me something that you really don't want to do right now.
Hmm. I guess see Fergus again right now.
Okay, now,
That makes one of us.
imagine if I said... No, that's not gonna do it. Oh, I got it. That's it. So, Rakia, right? You have great admiration for Rakia.
Oh, I up those the most, honestly.
Okay,
I
so,
miss her greatly.
think of it this way. What if I were to say that we just gave up on ever thinking about Rakia ever again?
I would just straight up leave this party and never talk to you ever again.
Okay, I would like you to roll me a nerve with disadvantage, please. For something
who's
for something that I'm about to do.
Fair.
Disadvantage on nerve.
Two berries!
Two bellies!
So,
Four!
she goes over to you and then looks at you, sort of a side eye with like pouty lips, and goes, "But what if we were to ask really nicely?" Suddenly, you are hit with the strongest amount of feelings of simpism that there ever was. You've never looked at this girl in any such ways before, but now, Rakia who?
Oh no, the secret simp has been unlocked.
New emotion unlocked.
Yeah,
Something.
simpism.
You look at her in a new light that you thought that you would only see Rakia as.
I guess it would be okay if it's you.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Damn it!
You then suddenly feel this weird overflow of this emotion leave you as quickly as it come over to you. I'm just kidding. But of course, we care about Rakia, and look, trust me when I say this, Rakia will be all yours soon enough. You can tell her how you feel, and I promise you, she'll understand. And again, you are led to believe that what she says is true. And all those emotions that you suddenly lost come back. All the emotions that you had towards Pinky are gone, other than the fact that you feel like Pinky is actually a true friend and she was just trying to make you understand something. However, to everyone outside of this particular bubble of conversation,
Power knowledge.
you can roll power knowledge, all of you, and I'm going to say you can either roll me with an advantage.
No, I just think Fletcher's a simp.
I mean, you can, fair
That's
enough.
my understand. That's my intelligence roll.
Is it just straight power knowledge, or?
Yeah, power knowledge. I'm going to say you can roll advantage with power knowledge.
Okay. So 15.
15, okay. She either has mental manipulation or something else. Oh, natural 20, okay. Stan, it's way too obvious. She has a super charisma ability. In other words, if she speaks it, she can potentially mold anyone in the social manipulation group.
I'm gonna look at the group and then look at Pinky again and then look down. You guys are weird.
You just see Fletcher burst into tears and hug Pinky. It's like, I miss her so much. I hope we can find her.
There, big guy. It's okay. It's okay. It's also definitely not weird that you've got a piece of her in your eye. There.
That's all I have of her right now.
She then looks over with the most evil fucking smile at all of the rest of the people on the table. Again, Fletcher can't see this, and she just goes, "So, you still think that I can't do it?"
Can't convince us to not do things. I'm sure you can with facts and logic.
My point is that I have an incredible ability of understanding people, and also what exactly that they want and need most. I understand their desires, but also I can hit their weak points. Because of that, even if they are the strongest creatures in the world, they will still crumble to my words. It's something
Alright, it sounds like a super villain now. I mean,
it's
Those
nothing.
sound very evil.
It's nothing that I have ever done against you guys, don't worry. But it's still something that I use from time to time for a defensive mechanism. Still, regardless, I'm quite perceptive considering my knowledge of the spoken arts. So if you ever needed to go anywhere, I could always be the step-in diplomat. I would prefer step-in manager, but diplomat is also pretty fair as well. But I'm fine with either. My point is that you don't have to worry about people trying to attack others outside of your barrier, because if they were to, any of the rules that you instantiate would either be enforced by, well, you guys kicking their asses, or me informing them that they should lay low until you come to kick their asses. You see my point?
Fair enough.
yeah, it will do.
I apologize for being untruthful to all of you, but most people, whenever they find out about my powers, they have tendencies to not necessarily trust me again. I hope that this doesn't change things between us.
To be fair, at least when I am powered up, I'm not quite sure your powers would even.
It's cute you think that, Mr. Fatigue.
Ooh. Kind of curious to see him. Well, I'm going to bed. Have fun, guys.
Oh, you going alone? I'm kidding. I'll see you later. I want to point out the entire time that Anarchy does that, he's not looking at her, but there is that shiver. There is that shiver behind your back where you're like, I'm not going to look at her because I know that if I look at her, there might actually be a possibility that I don't go to bed tonight alone.
Like I said, weird.
It doesn't matter. We still have what we need. As you guys all go to bed, that is the end of the night of that specific discussion. 2 weeks go on past as Anarche learns more from this particular book. Construction continues and programming also does as well. The barrier is constructed as explicitly stated and expected, thanks to the gadgetry and blood of both Anarche and Stan. Felix gets some FaceTime with both his wife and his kids, as well as a little bit of time speaking to the in-laws and also his good friend Ten. Any other particular information also has been passed on and around within the entirety of the organisation of your party. However, one specific thing is known. You, Fletcher, ask Felix or Anarche for a favour on tracking down Dias Miyamoto, and when you do so, you are informed by either Felix or Anarche that the... how do I put it this way? The arena of which this special barrier, which means that, you know, the potential of death, is nowhere near as scary now. It will be erected and finished within a couple of days. Are you able to wait before then, or are you going to go off on your own?
I mean, might as well get one more scary event before everything's tame and able to be reversed.
Fair enough. You eventually find the coordinates, and it turns out that it's a place that Anarche has been before. As you do so, he opens up the portal and allows you to step through. You go through and begin...
You sure you don't want someone to go with you? I'm just saying I've seen you die more times than I can count.
Twice.
I can't count very high.
Never said you were good at math.
I never said I could count high, guys.
Yeah.
Well...
It'll also...
Okay.
You'll have someone with a band to keep tracking in case they run.
Well, that is true, actually. I'm guessing you're volunteering, Felix?
I wouldn't be volunteering anyone else.
You're a good friend.
The two of you head on out towards this particular thing, thanks to the special portal that Anarche creates. You get to the village and you begin looking around, thanks to the lovely band, eventually meeting said Miyamoto inside a tavern of this town.
Yeah.
You see him sat
Fletcher.
there drinking some sake.
Let me just stand back.
Dias!
Oh.
He turns around very slowly. If it isn't my old boy Fletcher, what is it that you want this time?
I just thought I'd bump into you again, catch up, and maybe activate that rematch we've been setting on.
I've beaten you already. Why do I need to beat you again?
Who says you can beat me again?
Look, Fletcher, I'll definitely fight you again, but I need to inform you that things are definitely different now. I'm not the man that you originally met. My strength is something different.
All I hear is saying you've lost your edge.
Not lost, although I have gained a couple new edges since we last met.
Ooh, adding to your collection, I see.
Indeed I am. But nevertheless, if it is a battle that you want, I'm not going to say no, of course. I just wanted to warn you.
Oh, trust me. This time will be different.
Felix just taking in the room, watching people drink slowly, getting his stockpile up in his things.
Yeah, your stockpile is max at this point. If anything,
Yeah.
it just feels good to know that you're right. Addiction is
Addicting. Yeah.
As they walk
High
out,
definition.
Dias walks out and just says to Fletcher, I guess we can do it in the middle of the town square. I'm not entirely bothered, but it's up to you. And before you concern yourself, I've only even had one cup. So, nothing that would slow my reflexes down.
Oh, good. I want this a fair fight, after all. One between two warriors.
I relish this challenge. Or should I say, I relish the challenge that you are setting for yourself.
We all must strive for further and further goals. That is the path of the warrior.
Indeed. He then, goes from smiling with his eyes closed to suddenly opening his eyes. And, again, his eyes widen as he looks almost surprised, yet also readied. He then takes a stance where his knees are slightly bent, and so are his elbows. His hands look as if they already have swords readied in them, even though that they are empty. He waits, as it is now time to roll move speed.
Felix pulls up a folding chair, sits down.
Well, if that's the first one out of the way,
if that's the only natural 20, that'd be great. So he stands there as he then just takes out both of his swords in just a very quick motion. You recognise one of them being the one that is barely visible in this great daylight that you are standing within, as Dark Drift. The other one you don't recognise.
Another new sword, eh?
As you said,
What's
added
this?
to my collection. He then readies himself.
What can this do?
Don't worry. You'll find out soon enough. You then notice something about him changes. Almost a strange essence of energy enfolds around his form as he then readies himself and then darts towards you very quickly. With this essence of him bearing down upon you, he tries something. As I do so, I must roll this before I roll the next thing. Okay. As he comes... Fuck!
Fucking hell.
Jesus. So,
Well, so what do you do, Joe?
Every fucking time.
It was like that were a natural one, to be fair.
Yeah, I there's no middle ground for me. It's either I'm basically killing gods with every single roll I get, or I'm basically pooing a hole straight through the bed. There is no middle ground for me. I'm actually annoyed. Anyway, so... I guess roll. I mean, if you get an natural 20, I'll say that you can somehow get out of this, even if your modifier's lower.
I will roll. I don't know, phase counter to move out of the way.
That's more than fair.
No.
No.
I got half your roll.
You did, didn't you? You got half of my roll. Yeah. Where are these rolls? Where are these rolls, right? When I want to get an opponent out of the way, or I don't know, a lord resurrected. Where are these rolls? No, I have to have it on the first attack of a supposedly equal fight. No. So... Okay. I'm not going to do you dirty last time, because the last time it was a pure technique. This time it isn't a pure technique. I'm just having a look at the damage. I'm just having a look at the damage. Okay. Okay. So, what is that weapon?
Why does Fletcher lose every fight they're in? Like, immediately.
I mean...
Yeah. It is curious.
Like,
I do have at least some resistance this time.
It's always anytime you're fighting alone.
Yep. I mean, oh no, not even that. I talked my way out of that battle.
It's like you have the opposite of plot armor.
I have death attraction.
Yeah. You've clearly done something to the system, and it is really wanting to kill you.
Okay, so
Like I said, he's cursed.
as he darts towards you, he then immediately slashes you, and again that overpowering feeling of this blade embeds itself into your shoulder and slices clean through your chest. Now, I want to point out, this is a little bit of background information here. A few days prior to this, your hand was fully healed back to the way that it was supposed to be, thanks to Suzaku after you were able to get back there.
Oh, good. I can take that out then.
Extra amounts of scarring and issues with your tissue were also fixed thanks to Aldous as well. So your hand is back to new, if not good as new, if not better than new. But there is an issue, because you have now been slashed. As you have been slashed, you've taken 58 points of damage. With that 58 points of damage, does that break your vitality?
No. Also, this is a slash attack, so does my resistance take 8 off that?
No, and the reason why is because he used Dark Drift, which is a spatial-based weapon.
Ah, okay. Okay, so yes, that does not break my vitality, thankfully.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, good to see you haven't lost that edge.
As I said, I've gained new edges since the last time we met, but this is probably one of my favourite weapons. Now, hit me with your best shot if you can.
Oh, I will. I have gotten a few new toys of my own. As Fletcher will pull out both his new staffs, and I will roll for my new form of Spirit Warrior.
Fair.
Oh, thank God! It's a 15, thank you.
That's
active.
Words.
Alright, and Beast Crusher!
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. So, we're both going to hit each other because this is a reactive strike, so you do yours, I'll do mine.
Alright. Boop. Oh, that's a much better roll than last time with the golems.
That is really good. Also, since yours is spatial, I don't resist it, but also since his willpower is stronger than yours, you don't resist it either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm guessing his is max, so yeah, I'm 1 below.
Yeah, also, it's just because you don't have any willpower abilities that grant you resistances.
Yeah, I would need to activate willpower armor.
Okay. Yep, so he takes 96, and you take 36. It is now
Nice.
his turn.
Wow, did that not break his vitality?
What? Okay.
I was about to say 96! 93 doesn't break vitality. What is this guy, a boss now?
It does, but I needed to write your damage down first.
Joe, don't scare me like that. You already got such a great start.
90... What was that? 94 or 93? Oh, okay, 93.
3.
That's... not even... that's just under 1.5, so I just need to get a thingy roll. Not a D30, a D20. Plus 3. Plus... Okay. Yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
You are now on 94 points of health. No, sorry. You have now taken 94 points of damage. You're not on 9 points. As he gets hit by that, and as you get hit by that, it's like, it's very obvious who is doing the most damage as you pass through his entire body with that attack. He is definitely feeling the effect of this attack. But he then sort of you then see a pulse of power come over him. And I'm just now going to roll something to see if this works. It does, just barely, and then he goes in for an attack. 29.
I will try and counter by phasing out of the way. Oh, just under.
Yeah, so a definitive no here. I shall take that one. As you take 34 points of damage.
Decent.
Again, not breaking your vitality, but now putting you into 1, 2, 8. As he cuts you again. However, this time he then grabs his swords in a different way and then goes for another attack, as it seems as though this was a combo. $23.
Oh, can I react to this?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll react by attacking. I will attack Via's Cutter.
Okay. This means you not only
Since
need to
I'm
get
already-
the roll requirement, you'll also need to get above this guy's roll to be able to do so.
Right, so roll the par. Wait, I'm already intangible. Do I need to roll the par?
You still need to because it's an SPMA. Phase
fair enough.
cutter.
Alright, rolling for... That's it, active.
Awesome.
And...
No, that's plenty enough. That's all you needed. Roll damage. Now again, this is phase cutter, so this will not be with your staves.
What?
Yes.
How was it? It's phase cutter. I attack with my staffs.
Is it an advanced technique with your staves as part of it?
Do you want me to punch him?
I think it would be more like a kick in this particular circumstance.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then...
So it's just your face cutting damage. Because remember, you don't actually have a reactive attack that implements your weapons with phasing. I also realised that the damage that you dealt to me a minute ago with the 90-something is actually with Phase Crusher plus your staff. And yet
yes, it is.
Phase Crusher can only add staff if you had an extra action. So, Tuticus, but I will still keep it.
Sorry about that. I forgot.
That's fine. I forgot until after I'd already done it, so it's fine.
Alright, so just the phase cutter damage, and I guess martial arts?
It would just be phase cutter.
Okay, just phase cutter.
Yep, phase cut damage.
Done. 9.
Fair. Yep, so that's nice. As it's now your turn, he sort of backs up for a second and sort of again goes into his normal sort of recovered stance, where again elbows and knees sort of bent slightly, his eyes still widened. He hasn't blinked a single time during this fight.
Can Felix have gotten some popcorn in this time?
Not popcorn, but they are giving out certain like fried prawn snacks.
Yeah, he'll grab some.
Alright,
Fair.
I will activate Predictive Instincts.
Okay.
Mind.
That's just enough, isn't it?
Which one's is it will that's 15 or instinct that's 15?
I believe either way, instinct is 15. So
you're fine.
Either way you're
The
fine.
advanced
yeah.
technique version is a 10, so if you're using that one,
Okay, fair enough.
Again,
I'll
either
know
way,
that for
it's fine.
next time. And I'm going for Phase Cutter combo.
Okay.
So 15.
So again,
Right, that activates.
since that's your first, and also this is your second action that you've rolled, you'll just be doing a normal phase cutter.
Mm-hmm.
So
And attack with.
I shall roll for this. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, do I get attack now?
Yeah, you land damage, but again, remember, it is just pure phase cutter.
Okay. This is... I'm confused now, because normally whenever phase cutter can't exist without an attack roll.
Can it?
Didn't you have this conversation before? Where it's like, the roll of phase cutter is just there to activate it. The attack is then the staffs. Because that's what it always used to be.
I'll have a look. Unless if you have it copied and pasted, I'll just quickly grab it.
No. I've used physical and I haven't wrote it down. Well, actually, no way, I have wrote it down. See, phase cutter, use phase ability to add spatial attacks to attacks.
Right, okay, so in that case, then, my 20 has to beat the actual attack roll that you're about to roll for, then. So that's fine, it doesn't use up an action. Phase Cutter specifically doesn't. I know that Phase Crusher does, at least. Yeah, that's
Phase
fair enough.
Crusher takes an action, then it has a... If there is an extra action I can use to use
You can
physical
add staff,
attacks.
and you can add physical attacks and stuff like that, yeah.
Whereas Cutter cannot exist without using its ability, then attacking.
Yes, that's fine, okay, yeah. It's
Right,
similar to
so-
the Havoc Children's whole aspect of their power, so that's fine.
And...
As you do so, you go to try and hit him with that, and he just, again, cuts at you, dealing his damage of which is...
There we go.
Again, another
The kicker
37.
of the second roll hurts me. 37.
So, we'll just add that, 37. You're now at 165. As it is now his turn. He sort of backs up a bit and just sort of looks at you and just... Again, you sort of see that pulse of energy coming off of him. As he just sort of looks at you and just goes... Don't you just enjoy this kind of thing? But seriously, though, why do you keep trying to fight me? The same thing happens again and again and again. And again, it's not like as if I've gotten any weaker since our last battle.
I mean, you're basically the pinnacle of strength that I've seen so far, so I feel I've gotten stronger, so you're clearly the test of the mark.
You know what? I'm glad that I...
I think Felix tilted his glasses down at that.
Okay, you know what, Felix? Come on in. Jump on in, the water's fine.
I mean, Fletcher has fought Felix a couple times, and every time...
Two shots.
I have not fought you. I have not fought you within, intent of fighting.
That's actually true. The only other times that you've actually been attacked by Felix are accidentally when he just goes out of control, or when you went out of control. So technically, neither of you actually fought each other with the mutual regard to fight one another, I guess.
When he went out of control, his intent was to kill.
Yes, but
he was also not conscious of his actions.
Yes, he was also not only not conscious, therefore he lost half of his fighting capabilities.
Either way.
Zombie Fletcher does not reflect normal Fletcher.
However, this is the... Yeah, never mind. Anyway, he goes to attack you. You're trying to beat the 28.
Okay, I get an advantage roll because I activated predictive instincts before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to attack with Phase Cutter. Not Cutter, Crusher.
Okay. 29.
That is...
You do indeed get that. However, he also gets you.
Fair enough. Let's get just Crusher. If it would load. Thank you. $36.
I just realised I was about to roll the wrong bloody attack. Actually, wait. No. Was I? Oh, shoot. No, actually, no, that was the right attack. So,
Okay.
Can you tell me, does that break your vitality?
Yes, it is 66. No, it's not double.
No.
It's 1.5 though.
It's not 1.5 either. It would need to be 90. It would actually need to be 99 for it to be 1.5. So you just have to get 10.
Mm-hmm.
You are at 226. No, 256, sorry.
We never should say just have to get.
Yeah, that was your mistake.
I'm sorry, guys. Did that sound like a mistake? Because I just got what I wanted. If it isn't a natural 20 on my part, it's a natural 1 on Connor's part.
I mean, again, I was kind of expecting this outcome
So
going
as you go to do Face Crusher, you do indeed hit through him, and it just literally, as you're going towards each other, he just goes, "Fletcher, come at me with everything you've got!" And you sort of scream at him something else. Go on.
Dumbass!
As two of you go past each other in a samurai movie-esque thing as you both slide in the mud. The two of you sort of just halting for a second. Both of you sort of panting for a bit. And then Dias then just takes his swords, puts his first sort of finger at the Subas, lets go of them, and they sort of tilt forward until he then holds them again with his hands, placing them in both of the sheaths either side of his legs on his hips. When they click together at the same time, blood gushes from your body in an X shape as you then fall forwards down into the mud. You have still yet to learn, my friend. There are many people within this world who have strength and power and technique, but you and I are of a different league. I've no doubt of your strength and capabilities. Perhaps soon you will realize that we can never fight on equal terms.
think at this point, Felix will have stood up and walked over to Fletcher, pick him up. Like, all right, that was fun. Time to take him back so he can heal up.
You're going to need someone a little stronger for normal forms of healing. If he's not lucky, he will die from those wounds.
I mean, don't we have wouldn't Aldous be, to my memory? Who do we have?
Aldous could potentially heal him, yes. But it would need to be an incredibly quick succession from this attack.
So I shouldn't roll my abilities.
I mean, you can.
Will Fletcher learn?
Unless you have any one here
going
to help him, I will take him to my friends who can heal him.
I'm rolling a 20.
Oh god.
I'm rolling my vice.
Disadvantage D20 with willpower. Your willpower is what? Plus... what is it? Plus 7?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a 12.
Mm-hmm.
That...
Should I roll it again?
Is that... yeah.
I mean, it was with disadvantage, so you gotta see if you get lower.
Yeah, you gotta see if you get lower, I guess.
Yep, it's 12.
12 ain't too bad, so it's up to you at this point. It's less about... If it's under a 10, then I can make the decision for you, but if it's anywhere between this and 15, I can't really do anything except from you roleplay this. It's up to you if you want to have it that you get back up or not.
I mean, I was so close last time. Let's see how we go.
Wow, 6. You suddenly, like, as you sort of, like, you've lifted him up, you're carrying him in your arms, and you're sort of like going, okay, it's time to go. You then just feel like your collar being grasped by a bloodied hand as a Fletcher with eyes rolled into the back of his head exclaims a certain phrase to you.
Felix, I'm not done yet. Damn it.
You then suddenly feel an incredible pressure, not only coming from your friend, but also coming from the presence next to you. The two of them are riled by this incredible endeavour, and not only is it that the eyes of this friend of yours, eyes rolled into the back of his head. At this point, the eyes of Daius Miyamoto shift into an almost demonic face as his eyes, his brow go into directly his nose, and his smile begins to creep and crease throughout his entire face, as if he is rippled with evil intent, his blades drawn again. Yes! Let's go, Fletcher!
This one isn't Ricky Victor. It's Ricky Victor.
This has gotten weird.
Felix, I would recommend you step away.
To drop Fletcher onto the ground.
Fletcher lands perfectly fine.
I will let you have the first go here. It is up to you. You are not currently intangible, nor are any of your willpower effects working, but you do in fact currently have your overdrive in effect.
As this is going on, Felix will text Anake that we might need them in a bit to help.
Fair.
Are my staves still in my hands?
Your staves are now back in your hands.
Alright. Last man standing wins.
Oh,
As I go
I'm
for my
counting
4.
on it. Ooh.
Right. And, let me make sure I have my damage copied. Alright, that's it. Ready? And I'm going for Phase Cutter. Alright, activating of the power. It succeeds. And activation of the attack. That is 29.
Okay, so is that 29 you trying to hit me?
Yes.
Okay. $20. Go for it.
Boom!
Boom indeed. Damn. Damn! Okay, so that's 71 added onto this dude's current damage. Okay, nice. Yep. That only just breaks his vitality, by the way.
Ooh!
Oof. Okay. It does cause an injury.
Mm-hmm.
For the next 2 minutes, he will take bleed, as he takes 4 extra points of bleed. As it is now his turn. Again, you feel the strange pulse of the energy and essence from his body. He looks at you with keen eyes and readies himself for an attack.
Jesus Christ, Joe, that's your third D20?
I know, I don't know how I'm doing it. As he then rushes towards you with incredible speed and pace.
I do the same with Phase Crusher. That is 31.
As you both pass through each other, you both do damage. Roll for your damage.
Mm-hmm. Come on, copy. $57.
Nice. Just grabbing my damage. $59.
Ooh, yes.
As you do 57 to him, you take 59 points of damage.
Nice. I react to that by phase crushing. Again.
Okay, I'm just hang on a second, just adding your damage. So the damage you take is plus 59. Okay, there we go. Yep. Okay, so it's now you're now going into and attacking your Phase Crusher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is, let's see, 20, 33.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, I'm adding smack. And since it's still technically attack, I still get the roll advantage. Oh, yeah, that succeeds!
Yep. Roll damage.
Full power!
Damn. Okay.
Pretty cool.
So-
pretty cool.
So I'm going to roll the
Not bad.
d4 of bleed. So that's +3 onto that. And then I have to roll d20 +3 for the injury. Which causes an injury.
I'll
Next two
take another
turns.
for that.
Takes another 1. So he's now up to that. Okay, nice. As you can see, parts of his body are just like getting covered in these horrible cuts that just won't let up each time that he just keeps passing through him.
It's good not to. I say this is a better fight, don't you, Dias?
I couldn't have expected someone of your caliber to do this to me. But
How's the crowd doing? Is there a crowd?
People are definitely watching this. People are watching this of all sorts. People are screaming, crying, scared, excited. There is an entire crowd of people that are wondering what to do. None of them dare go close to this. None of them dare go anywhere near this to try and stop this, because these people are moving at speeds that, if it weren't for the fact that you have super dexterity, by the way, and also were an incredibly high caliber warrior, Felix, you wouldn't be able to see these guys move with the naked eye. I mean, yes, you have glasses, but let's just say, for the sake of it, the naked eye.
My eyes are closed. Thank you very much.
These guys are moving at incredible speeds that should not be able to be seen by normal humans, and yet
I feel like there's a very wide circle of the people watching, and then Felix is like closer in.
I want to point out, 2 of them disappear and reappear on the other side of each other, and blood splatters at such an incredible pace. It's like as if someone's taken a paintbrush and just gone ballistic with it, like full on, like tried to slash with it, as blood has hit some things with such force. You can hear just the little snaps as it slaps against physical matter. That's how powerful their strikes are, that the blood from them is hitting things, objects, matter, people with that level of force that it can be heard when it hits them. I have to admit, Fletcher, I never thought that I'd see the day that someone of your capabilities would ever impress me. He then seems to get a little angry as he then moves. Before it seems as though he does even a single thing, there seems to be less calculation in this attack. As a matter of fact, it seems almost as if he's not focusing on certain aspects of his, I guess you could say, willpower buffing, as he goes towards you with an attack of a 20.
Oh.
Are you going to face counter? Phase crusher? Counter phasing of any kind?
Can I use a Zerg Claw as a counter?
Technically no, because it's a buffing ability. So you buff an attack and then you hit someone afterwards. So you could do it.
Okay.
You could do it to a melee attack and then use phase. So you could do phase crusher and then do that, but it'd have to be your turn when you did it.
Yes. Okay, fair enough. Phase Crusher, you suggested? I like that idea.
Okay, nice.
Ooh, 31!
Deal yo damage.
Alright. This is just Phase Crusher. Pop! That was 66 my actual vitality in one attack!
Nice.
Woo woo!
Vitality damage.
Go!
Nice. So, you indeed hit him, you indeed strike him, but it does not cause anything else. However, I do have to roll for the d6 of bleed.
It's beginning to bleed.
As he sort of just staggers a bit, just like wavering for a second. Perhaps I'm getting slower than I thought, as it is now your actual turn.
Oh, come, Dias. You're not getting slower. It's just you feeling a little bit more of the sake.
Even in your unconscious state, you feel a level of fury from this man that you would even question that had any effect. It's less about that you saying that he's getting weaker, it's actually the fact that you would even imply that alcohol is affecting him. It's the same as when someone who is drunk is told that they are drunk. They're like, no, I'm not drunk. But in this moment, he's like, he only had one sake cup. You calling him a lightweight? That's the level of fury that you're feeling from this man, as it is your turn.
Alright. Does Azura Claw go first, or...
You can do it first or after. It's absolutely up to you.
Alright, let's see. Oh... Fuck, I still don't do it. I'll activate it first, and I'm sacrificing 30 HP.
Okay.
And it's spirit, so let's see if it
spirit.
works. That's a 15.
Awesome.
I think that works. It's 10, right?
If it's a 15 requirement, that's fine. If it's a 10 requirement, that's also fine.
Alright, and the 30 HP, do I add that to my attack?
You add it when you deal damage. So you now roll to attack him, and then I have to roll to defend. If you actually hit him, then you sacrifice that damage. Adding to it, you sacrifice the damage regardless anyway, so you'll take 30 points of damage now. It's just whether or not that'll actually hit him.
Alright, Did Phase Cutter combo activate, or did I not get a chance to do that?
I don't think you did it prior, so I'm just going to assume that it didn't work prior. So, I mean, you can do Face Cutter combo now, but... Actually, yeah, you can use Face Cutter combo now, yeah.
Alright, I try and activate the cutter. That succeeds, and then the strike. And since Azure Claw is fist, I'll be punching him.
Okay. So this is martial arts or hand to hand?
Hand to hand.
Okay.
Strike. That
29.
is 29.
32. So you go to you infuse your fist, and you go to do that, and your fist goes right over his shoulder as he darts, and then you just feel a slight sort of slice go through you as he hits you with his attack. Upon doing so, I also realised I wasn't adding a +8 to these attacks, so there we go. As he deals 49 points of damage, you have taken not only 49 points of damage from his attack, but 30 from your own. Since they are still separate, however, they do not break your vitality together because they are not together.
Fair.
However,
I would get you with that one.
I recognize that skill anywhere. That's the Azure Claw. You thought that you'd get me with that, you cheeky little... And then he immediately goes on the offensive with another ability. Now I must roll this.
Can't let my predictability become stale.
Okay, you are trying to beat this particular roll, which you probably won't find too much difficulty in.
Mm-hmm. Once again, crush. When that is... Oh,
that's a
20!
Flat 20, so no, he hits you with this attack.
So it's below... It's 3 or below that I can't... attacks don't connect. I see.
That's because this is his actual attack. So that roll that you just did there is your reaction.
Yeah, reactive attack.
Yeah. Okay, so that's. I also forgot the +8.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no roll that you do here.
Oh, no roll of con?
No. It doesn't matter. Actually, you know what? That breaks your vitality, doesn't it?
Yes.
There's no question of a roll here, dude. The total damage that you have now taken throughout this battle is 475, which is over double your maximum health, which means you broke past your critical health long ago. This attack was all that you needed to finish it off, and because of that, this ends your life. As you are attacking and you say these words to him, he then just immediately goes for it. And as he does so, he does an almost scissor slash that goes through your torso and through your neck. As he finishes, he then places the blades back into the sheaths, as then you sort of fumble backwards a bit, only for then blood to gush from the bottom part of your chest and the head to roll off of your shoulders. You then see Dias, Felix. You then see Dias just let out a single exhale. Covered in blood, cuts, wounds, bruises. He looks up at the sky. Panting. He then restores his breathing. I don't think that there's a single person that I know that could revive someone from decapitation of wounds such as that. He then sits into the mud that is blood-stained with both of their own.
Alright, well, if you don't know anyone, I'm going to take him and take him to someone else. Felix will pick up the parts of Fletcher, contact Anake, and try to instruct Anake to head to the Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's just a regular thing now.
Yep, alright, the Birdman we go.
Birdman we go, come on.
Anake's just like, he hears the news, just shakes his head.
This is your
again.
sixth. This is your sixth death, Fletcher. I just want to point this out.
Are you sure it's not the fifth?
Okay, well,
Sure, it's
yeah,
not
okay. Hang on a second.
Shall we count them up?
Second zombie.
Tomato. How many times are we going to have to put...
Yeah, fair. Anyway, so...
Zombie, the Eye, to the Vault Man,
Felix. Oh,
to
yeah, this is
Felix.
your fifth death, yeah.
Fifth.
Yeah, this is...
Hey! Next, the sixth one, the devil himself will give me a coupon.
Either that or just, he's sick and tired of your shit. No! No more resurrections! Just grabs you and pulls you in with himself. Yeah, so...
Fight for my soul!
Anake, you finally get there. You go through the portal and eventually go over to Redoran's actual place of residence. He is there and he does see this and he's just pissed at this point. It's like, guys, I am not a taxi service for resurrections are not something that just comes cheap. It takes me a day to get this power back. And
I'm sorry, he keeps going off and
Yeah,
dying.
we're apologizing on his behalf.
Like-
He keeps doing this to us. It's really annoying for us as well. So.
I'm gonna have to roll a D100 at this point because who knows if he's used it today, and if he has, you might be screwed. 67 is a severity check, so yeah, he has already used it today. I don't know any. I don't have the ability to heal this man. I can't resurrect the dead. If they've died after 24 hours.
How many? Is it
hours
24 hours or is it? Yeah, it's like how long?
Long rest?
For me, it's 24 hours. It will take 24 hours before I get my resurrection.
How long can you bring someone back? Like how long is that? How long can
They have
be
to
dead
have
for?
been dead for less than 24 hours.
If you put them in your pocket dimension, would they?
Yeah, alright, I eat them in the pocket dimension.
Alright, now we wait.
Alright, we'll be back tomorrow.
You're going to have to pay me because you after this point.
Alright, how much is resurrection? I'll just pay now.
I've heard a rumor, Mr. Anarche, that you are holding a tournament. Soon. Not now, but soon. And the tournament itself has, as I heard, little consequences to life?
Maybe.
Count me and the other three of the four Guardians in, and we'll do it. But you'll need to get the Emperor to agree to it. After all, 4 Guardians being able to be participants of an entire tournament is not exactly an easy feat.
Oh, alright, give me a minute. I go to the Emperor's house.
I want to point out, it's like this is midday, so you go to the house and he's just not there, and people are freaking out at you. Just like,
you! Where's the Emperor? So I point at some random person.
He's got busy stuff to do. What are you doing here? Draws weapons, like.
There's no way to treat. Look, first of all, that's no way to treat a savior of this land. Second of all, I'm on a very urgent business to do with the 4 Guardians. I might add you, so.
Look, sir, he's out in the middle of the street giving a speech. You'll have to go and find him there.
Alright, I go to the market district or whatever, and I go...
You see him currently in the middle of a speech, just sort of finishing it up. It seems like as if it's closing.
Alright, I'll wait until it ends.
He finally finishes his speech, and that is how we shall help this great nation become even greater, with all of us working for the same reason that we have always done. Honor, power, and of course, togetherness. To build hope is to truly build life, and we shall grow and build hope so that we can bring it to our brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers within the southern region. Thank you. Everyone cheers, claps, and he walks off the stage.
Yo, Emperor got... Yep, hey.
What is it that the two of you want? You look rather flushed and bothered about something.
Well...
I feel like this is still kind of just deadpan at this point. It's like it's happened so many times.
So my friend got himself killed again.
Is it Fletcher?
Yeah.
Yes, it's always Fletcher.
It's always him.
It's
I don't
definitely
think anyone else here has died. Like in our
Zuzaku's making me pay for resurrection unless I can convince you to get the 4 Guardians to participate in my tournament. So that's why I'm here.
That's not exactly an easy thing to do. I mean, they're the Guardians for a reason. They have to guard our country. We might have some people that could potentially substitute, but I'm not entirely sure of their levels of capability. I'm not sure, Anarche. This is not an easy fix, I'm afraid. Or at least, not that I can see so far.
Sorry, my head went somewhere else.
You could say the same of Fletcher.
Bam! Why is it
He
your
never had
best-
a good head on his shoulders.
Hang on a second, I'm just going to put this out. Bill, why is it that your best jokes about other players' characters are only when they bloody well die?
Oh, I like that one, George. Even you're sick of this.
I mean, it's happened so much.
It is.
I like
Well- Well, no. In terms of the safety of your nation, while this is happening, they're not gonna be stuck on the island constantly. And to be fair, my idea of the tournament is to draw everyone who is potentially strong and dangerous to my island. So more than likely, if stuff does break out, it's probably going to be very basic stuff.
Roll me a diplomacy or a persuasion.
If you need me to take guard during one of the shifts in the tournament, I could do so.
Well, you couldn't fight against them then.
I don't.
Oh,
fucking
okay,
care.
19, okay.
No, I'm just too good friends with everyone. Don't worry about it.
You bring a good point. If there are less people trying to fight our people and they actually go to your island, I guess that could be a possibility.
Also, the Southern are probably going to bring their strongest to my island, so it'll kind of be like the neutral between both sides anyway.
You know, Mort, I think
Or you could make two teams. Where you split the Guardians with some of the other strong people on the Southern side, and then you have mixed teams.
Okay, look. It's not that I want to say no, and actually you bring up some good points, so perhaps I shall allow this for the time being. If we ever need to call them, I'm sure that you can send them back here, and the same with them getting back to your island, considering the uniqueness of your abilities.
Yes. Oh, and I should warn you in prehens. If the island starts floating, don't worry about it. Okay, bye! And I go back to Tsusaki.
Okay.
Eventually, Suzaku believes you. He then states that he'll inform the other Guardians. And he says that he can indeed resurrect him, but it will take him, obviously, 24 hours before he can actually do so, because, again, he still has to wait until he can actually do so. So you'll need to come to him, basically, at, I think it's 12 o'clock the next day.
That's a reasonable time. Yeah,
I just have this vision of all these poor people and their family members who need to be resurrected.
No, you don't understand. This guy has incredible secrets about the treasures of the... I'm sorry, but... fighting tournament. I'm sorry. Flying island? I'm not going to miss it. I'm sorry. A treasure will be found 300 years from now.
Anarchy at this point is... Anarchy is that rich arsehole who you can just skip the list at any point. For
the helpless people that have remained dead because
23 hours later, you do in fact get Fletcher back. And by that point, you have also been informed something that has happened to your island. When you finally get back, the technological aspects of what you required from both the aspects of your own blood infusion, thanks to the programming of the knife, and also the explicit expectations of what you wanted for your theme park, your church, your mansions, and also your mini village.
Theme park.
All of these particular things have been built and based on the desires of not only the particular individuals who did so, but also thanks to the programming of the knife that was controlled and piloted by Stan, who helped alongside the construction workers to build the particular types of technology, building work, and other things that were required. Thanks to this, instead of it being a multi-month project, it took only 2 weeks. Because of this, the entire island has now been fully fitted out with the things that you needed, including a bubble that once someone leaves it, they will be restored to the way that they were before entering said bubble inside of the arena. Now that all is left is to find out how exactly that you are going to advertise this tournament to the world.
Put a big neon sign.
If you want to come and kill Fletcher,
kill the invisible killer. Can you?
I mean, to be entirely fair, is that even an achievement anymore?
No, it's not.
No, it's a part of the amusement park. It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah,
you
it's just an attraction.
Yeah.
If you lose to the invisible killer, you are nothing.
Yeah, you get immediately kicked off the island.
You've now been resurrected 5 times. It's just ridiculous.
The universe
Is
hates
he
me.
Ethan Fletcher anymore?
Yes, because he keeps going head first into fights.
So Joe, where do you draw the limit to how many times you revived?
Let's put it this way: there isn't necessarily a limit, but there will potentially be a narrative limit as to when I just go, enough, he's dead. But
Just burn the corpse.
mechanically, there's not technically a limit, because you guys know about 3 or 4 people who can revive the dead at this point. So,
At what
And
point
you
do
have
they just say it's a lost cause? Go away.
Yeah,
When
also
you
don't,
have money.
don't be careful about that, because you might if 2 of our resurrection people can't resurrect you, you're gonna have to wait a month in my pocket dimension so I can get a meeting with the council to explain to them why I have to resurrect you again.
that's also potentially true as well.
But I don't
now
want to
I
have to
think
do
about
that.
it. Because technically, after a certain amount of hours, Thingy can't resurrect you. After a day, Suzaku can't resurrect you, and basically, after a certain amount of time, someone else can't resurrect you, because again, you need to get the extra life relatively within a certain amount of time of your death. So yeah, that's also a possible thing. And also, yeah, you need to sacrifice an incredibly powerful ongoing artifact for them to even be allowing of removing one of their greatest taboos just for you.
To break a rule.
Look, we'll just go and find another temple, and then we'll just take whatever, sell one of the orcs or something.
We just eventually give the fucking Eden every single book.
Yeah, they'll have everything just because we have to keep resurrecting you.
So with that, how are you? First of all, how are you going to make an advert? And second of all, what kind of advert are you going to make?
We could drop flyers from the air.
Littering.
No, I feel like there's got to be a recording function on the bands, right? Surely.
I mean,
Some sort of-
Oh yeah, we did mock battle, but then halfway through it, we just started. It's like, gee, are you sick of trying to find people?
That actually could work. I just realised that. Yeah, and you're just fighting, and then just suddenly goes, "Ugh, Fletcher, you son of a! Do you hate it when this happens to you?"
Yeah.
Why do I
You're
imagine
having
there's
time
a
alive between your deaths?
I have a feeling that there is a construction company or plumber company that just does that. They're in the
Fight
corner
each other,
just to
and then
do
all of
that.
a sudden, halfway through the fight, they go, "Don't you hate it when this happens to you? You're fighting over who's going to use the toilet last, because, let's be honest, it's on its last legs, and someone's going to have to shoot that shit right down there. Well, no more, no fear, no more, thanks to Gary's Plumbing. Gary's Plumbing will make sure that your toilet bends you bending all the way down to where you need to get it. So don't worry about a clogging,
What?
worry about a coggin. Thanks to..."
And then no one comes after them because they have such a pitiful points.
No, that's
Yeah.
it. No, that's what I think of it. I just don't worry about a clogging. Use your noggin. Thanks to Gary's Plumbing.
And then, well, Llama Gen's brand is still the best, but
Llama juice.
Llama Juice.
Good.
Worried about your life being lost? Meaninglessly fighting another person? Come to the tournament on Anarche Island.
Is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna do a thing that? Or are you gonna
Actually, that's the point. What are we naming this island? I don't want to name it after myself, but it can't be Yotam Jail Island because there's no prisons on this island anymore.
Freedom.
That doesn't
Where
really
you're
make
free to fight and live again.
just full of werewolves, and they just call it Free Island.
But yeah,
I think only
Don't worry, we also have a ball pit.
I think only 2 people here are gonna get that reference. So, Anarcho,
What, yours or mine?
Felix, how are you going to...
Oh, it's the Cloud District.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not
Have
up
you
in
been
the...
to the Cloud District?
It's not up in the air yet, but I do see where you're going with that.
That's the blessing that will grant it when it goes into the air. It's the Cloud District. Or is it Cloud City?
It is actually the
Go on.
Cloud... It's the Cloud District that Nazim talks about in Skyrim. Have you been to
Yes!
the Cloud District often? Oh, what am I talking about? Of course you haven't.
You're not a fighter.
I feel like Cloud District. I feel like Cloud District is the good name.
Okay. So, how are you going to record it, Felix and Anarcho, since you're the only ones that seem to have the bands?
Well, it only has to be one of us.
Yes, I know, but still.
Who's fighting? Who's fighting who?
I don't.
Would it be Felix versus one of the party, or Anarcho versus one of the party?
Fletcher volunteers.
Yeah, Fletcher's the beaten dummy of this.
I guess in this point, then, would it be Fletcher versus Anarcho, since it's Anarcho's advert?
It's technically my island.
Mm.
I am the one advertising it. Do we get it in the air first, though?
How are you going to get
Before
it in
we
the air?
advertise? Book? What have I learned from said book?
Well, first of all, physics
Off
can
the
be
ground.
manipulated in multiple different ways. The core that they specifically designed was to alter certain types of physics. As a matter of fact, the way in which the Animite can alter physics is because that they believe that Animite itself has the ability to alter certain aspects of reality. Hence the whole weird inverse mass thing that they were able to do with the cores. The cores have the ability to power up certain things, but if people can program them well enough, they can actually do other things. But also they seem to be able to actually take on certain aspects of a master's wish based on a blood infusion within the island or within the core. Meaning that
Alright.
you could figure it out that way or figure it out animatologically.
Whose blood does it have at this point?
So it's used yours on the arena to create the special barrier, and it's used thingies to create the some of the buildings and the roller coasters.
Yeah, so it has both of ours. So, one of us just need to essentially program a wish into this thing. Essentially. Or our desire. And, we should be able to get this thing off the ground.
Does it have to be any desire?
Well, I believe it has to be.
The desire
Specific.
for the island to fly.
Yes!
There's only one person who truly desires the island to fly.
Space!
I'll go where capitalism hasn't reached yet!
Space!
Space!
That
Making
bloody
this
meme.
island into space.
Sky we go.
So into whose blood are we using?
Okay, do we want a rocket island or do we just want a floating island? I feel like that's what we're really asking here.
I mean, based on what Pinky is saying and believes, it's like it makes more sense for us to have just an island that's floating. Because if it goes to a location like the stratosphere or even outer space, we might not be able to survive.
So what you're saying is the island needs more trees.
No.
If that's the case, does the island have a dome?
Technically we need like a barrier to keep like a self-sustained atmosphere.
Because if that's the case...
Because you could technically make that theoretically with your ability, couldn't you, Bill?
Yes.
God.
So,
I mean, all you have to do... If you can get the island and the bubble over the island to be one and the same, tangibility. My ability would allow everyone within the bubble to breathe while in space.
But you don't have the
Due to
ability
reality,
to fly.
I don't think Yeah.
I don't need to be the one to give the island the ability to fly. I can just be the reason to go through space.
However, there is a.
Like,
All right, we're getting to the sky first, and then we'll figure out space travel with the island. I assure you,
Yes,
we will
buddy.
get to space.
I understand the whole want of being able to fight in space, but if you think that it's hard for people to get into an island on the fucking skyline, it's gonna be impossible for almost anyone to be able to get to the one in space.
Oh, why isn't anyone coming to my tournament? This is weird.
Words. How much for teleporter?
Okay, so what?
Because we could just have
what's
a
your plan,
teleporter
Joe?
on the island.
my plan is I don't think we should put the island in the air yet, to be honest. I think ideally we need to actually figure out what we're doing. And probably we could at least prove that the island can go in the sky, but ideally we want the island still here, right? You know, until everyone's on it.
Yep.
You know, the combatants. It would be helpful if they can actually get to the island.
Portals.
You gotta think. With
Yeah,
portals.
I don't know if portals are a good idea. It doesn't seem like people would just be quick to trust portals.
Yeah, random portals. Yeah.
We pay every capital a certain amount of money to have portals to the island installed.
All right, Fletcher, we need some
Brain cells
points.
do you lose each time?
Yeah. It took me 3 mil to get some housing, a theme park, and an arena built. I don't even want to think what it's going to cost me to have a governmental portal in every capital, let alone convince every leader of the world. As fun as an idea that is,
Well, we only need one. Everyone comes to the land of the sunken moon. They have a portal built to the island, and then we advertise it that way. I mean,
I
the
feel
Emperor
like-
already
I
loves
feel
you.
like I'm going mad.
The weirdest thing is, I was literally about to say the same thing as Pinky. I feel like as if we're getting off topic here. Like, if we need the island to fly, we need the island to fly, but I think that if we're going to do it, it either needs to be through the means of probably the programming that we've been using before, we just leave it for now and figure out some other way on doing it later. Maybe do
Wait!
it...
Felix, the guy who made the glider. Maybe we could convince him to do the same with the island.
I'm going to step out of this conversation. You all
Look,
have
I could
fun.
probably make the island fly, but it's gonna take a while.
And okay, think about it. The same technology that allows the glider to fly using my powers could be used the same way for the island.
Alright.
Is this guy okay?
Fletcher,
Sorry.
I appreciate your ideas and your enthusiasm. It excites me greatly. But go and take a
Flying
break.
island.
Go
Flying
and take a
island.
break. Go to the spa. Just go and relax for a bit.
Oh yeah, we have a spa night.
Yeah, go do that.
Hell yeah.
You know,
See you guys later.
Sometimes I miss the preachiness of all this.
Even I'm gonna have to admit that at least he had some sense in the things that he had.
At least he was quieter.
Yeah, but ever since he's had his church, he's been building all sorts of weird things in his congregation. He won't let anyone go in until it's finished.
You know, maybe that's for the best.
Yeah, fair. Look, why don't we just leave it for now? As someone, I can't remember which person in this cacophony of crazies said it, but they actually made a point. Why don't we let everyone get on the island and then make it float? Therefore, they know that they can't escape so easily.
Oh, that was Stan. the one who has the intelligent ideas around her.
Just saying it makes more sense that way.
I have to agree
does.
with the new guy. I mean, it does make a lot more sense. Besides,
Do we have a port? Everyone I've always gone here has been through portals. Are we,
technically, we already have a couple of beaches. Don't necessarily need a port, but it could be easy to make one.
I feel like a port will just make everything an easier transition, right?
Well, considering we were able to make a roller coaster in the matter of 2 days, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be easy to make a pier and a port like that.
Alright. Presentation, which I assume will just be us fighting, and then mid-fight we'll do an advert, I guess, which seems like the most annoying thing ever.
Ad break.
Ad break.
Ad break.
No. Word from our sponsor.
Another word from our sponsor. Raid Shadowlit! Okay, so I'm gonna say in this moment I'm gonna ask, are you gonna do this for real, or is it gonna be like overly faked performance?
Are we gonna kill Fletcher again?
We won't kill him. I feel like we'll do like a round or two of like, maybe we'll do like a round of actual fighting.
Okay, both of you roll me move speed. By the way, you're stepping in the
We'll
arena.
fight
so
in the spa.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah! Spa battle!
Naked battle, let's go.
So that's a 14, that's 20. Okay, Anaki, you get to go first. What would you like to do?
You also gotta love that with Anake having a yellow band, it's gotta be high up in.
Yeah, some people will be watching. Alright. I'll be kind. I won't use any of my weapons or willpower. We're just in around.
Hand to hand only. Got it.
Alright, I agree. Hand to hand it is. So,
Ding ding.
hand to hand. So, I will go for a punch. Kablammy.
Okay. How would you like to retaliate, Fletcher?
I retaliate by also throwing a punch.
Okay.
I fail.
You get punched.
I
Okay.
fail.
Roll damage.
My head falls off.
Well, no. But you do take 40 damage.
Ugh.
You take 4 damage as you get punched, and you get immediately slammed into the outer barrier of this arena. As you slam against this wall, you get back onto the arena floor. As it is now your turn.
Whoa, that was a hit. Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I will go for a double hit.
Cool down. Alright. I will try and use my defensive style under martial arts. But essentially I have to match his roll. And he does his damage upon himself, or if I get 5 or above.
Fair enough.
I can add my... Oh, that would be a 25. So
That
you win.
matches... Oh, okay, it's hand to hand.
Yeah, it would be a 25, yeah, so...
Yep, so you hit him. So you then punch him.
2. Right, double hit just doubles the physical damage, right?
No, it
Doubles
doubles
the modifiers.
modifiers. So you
Yeah.
do plus whatever your strength modifier is plus that again. So it's just 2d6 plus strength modifier plus strength modifier.
So 3 plus 3.
You get punched in the face. As obviously the bands begin to record, do either of you stay in the fight, or do you start trying to do anything?
I guess we could advertise while, like, throwing punches.
Yeah, we'll advertise while fighting.
I was going to say, because you could have it that Pinky just sort of jumps in and does the whole thing of, has this ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah, no, we'll have the charismatic one. We're just going to beat each other up then.
Okay,
That's
fair
the way-
enough.
Let's keep going.
Whilst you guys are punching at each other, you go. She just jumps in. Has this ever happened to you? You and someone else are immediately trying to get into a fight, but people on the outside are trying to hurt you. Well, no longer. Welcome to the Anake's tournament of Jotun Jail Island. Not actually what we're calling it for now, but welcome to the tournament that's going to settle all tournaments. If you're sick and tired of having to fight, hunt, and even scrap to survive, no longer. Come to this particular island and you'll be part of the tournament that is going to set everyone apart from what they're doing. Now, if you're probably wondering what exactly this Jotun Jail Island can give to you, well, you don't have to worry anymore. We've got an entire entertainment system all around the island, so you can actually entertain yourself whilst you're waiting for your next match. On top of which, if you're concerned about dying or getting injured or horribly maimed throughout this party, don't worry. For instance, right now these two are currently beating each other to near death, but you don't have to worry about that either. As you can currently see, as then Anaka just punches you and slams you against the walls. Ring outs are completely impossible. This barrier basically resets someone based on when they originally came in. For instance, take this knife, cuts herself. Once I walk out of it, and then the cut immediately heals, I'm absolutely fine. This also includes grievous bodily injury, harm to any particular person that is classed as maiming, as well as removal of limbs, organs, and also death. This will reverse any of these particular nasty little hiccups, so therefore you can enjoy your fight as much as possible. Go all out if you want, destroy yourself if you wish, but don't worry, as soon as your body parts are out of there, you're back, fully ready.
Whoops. I'll take the tan.
Fully ready and up for any kind of fight that you wish. Now, obviously, these two are currently heading it out and showing you exactly what they can do.
If you can just roll your damage, please. Alright, so you take both of that. Yeah.
As we can see, these two are currently going at it like absolute rabid animals, but if you want to see what happens when you come up against this, just know that these two, along with the other multiple people in our current party, are going to be going up against any of you. So come on down and see if you can earn some points, earn some body counts, and of course, do your best at what you know. And of course, if you don't come down here, well, I guess you're just too chicken to find out what happens when you fight the strongest of the strong. Thank you very much, and of course, as we're always knowing here, you need to be as and ready when you're ready to get going. And from a word of our sponsors, this has been sponsored by Stilton Maximilian, because it ain't Max if it ain't a million. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful night. That is where we shall end this session. Ciao, ciao, for now!